Good afternoon, SDO Pasay Teaching Force. With our division's battle cry in this education in the new normal, kapit kamay, tuloy ang edukasyon sa Pasay. Truly, even this pandemic would not hinder our journey towards getting better and to give excellent service as we are gathered here today for the SDO Pasay City General Assembly and the Equal Opportunity Principal Policies for the Prime HRM systems and its processes for teaching personnel. To formally open this engagement, may we request everyone to please join us in the singing of the Philippine National Anthem. This will be followed by doxology and the Pasay City hymn.
Tayong magiliw, pero sa silanganan, mawalan ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulutig, di ka pasisipil, sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mo mukaw, ay nilabang tula at awit sa paglayang inahan. Mag-isap ng patawat mo'y tagumpay na nagdidinig, ang bituin at araw na kailan pa may di magdidilig. Lupa ng araw ng walhatik pagsinta, buhay ay langit sa piling mo. Aming di kaya na pag may mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Let us bow our heads and feel the presence of the Lord. Almighty God, Creator of all, we come humbly into your presence as we lift our hearts and our lives up to you. Thank you for all the countless blessings that you have given us. Forgive our human frailties, insecurities, and doubts. Fill our hearts with love and teach us to share it with all. Mold us, shape us, and use us for your perfect will. We thank all our teachers, administrators, and all the men and women who have trained hard and used their skills in uplifting the education system, even in the midst of pandemic situation that we encounter. We also want to thank our stakeholders for giving their commitment and passion and giving a hand to our institution. Lord God, we give you thanks and praise for the people in our lives who have taught us, supported us, and helped us to take steps forward in our journey with you. Help us to encourage and support all those who work in education and appreciate the important work they do. Empower them by your Holy Spirit as they seek to live out their calling and serve you in this way. In the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen.
Mabuhay lungsod ng Pasay, perlas ng kamay nilaan, hangal ay kaunlaran sa lahat ng larangan. Mabuhay lungsod ng Pasay, lumawan ng sandaigdigan, ugali, mapagtanggap ng tunay na mamamayan. Pasay, mahal kong bayan, sa puso'y nag-iisa. Pasay, dakilang bayan, Pasay, mabuhay ka. Ang lahat ay makaliyos, makabansa, makatao, masinop at mapagmahal, ang tunay na Pasayero. Pasay, mahal kong bayan, sa puso'y nag-iisa. Pasay, dakilang bayan, Pasay, mabuhay ka. Pasay, mahal kong bayan, sa puso'y nag-iisa. Pasay, dakilang bayan, Pasay, mabuhay ka. Pasay, mabuhay ka.
Magandang hapon, and once again, welcome to the SDO Pasay City General Assembly on the Equal Opportunity Principle Policies for the Prime HRM systems and its processes for teaching personnel. At this point, let us have the opening remarks from our Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Arturo A. Tolentino.
Para sa ating lahat, lalong-lalo na po sa ating pong butihing SDS, Dr. Loretta Vitor Campos, SO5. Narito tayo ngayon sa hapong ito upang tunghayan po ang ating virtual General Assembly para po sa mga empleyado ng SDO Pasay. Napapanahon po ito upang sa ganun, malaman natin ang mga bagay-bagay na may kinalaman po sa ating trabaho. Lalo't higit sa lahat pagdating po sa pagbibigay po ng oportunidad sa mga empleyado at sa mga gustong maglingkod po sa SDO Pasay. Sabi nga ni John F. Kennedy, everybody has its own uniqueness, has its own talent. All of us do not have equal talent, but all of us should have an equal opportunity to develop our talent. Tama nga naman po yun, kasi everybody is a unique individual. So, once again, good afternoon everyone.
Thank you so much, Sir Art. So, somehow, Dr. Tolentino has gave us a glimpse of what this Prime HRM is all about. Of course, we will not let this day pass without hearing the voice of this lady who never fails to inspire us in all our undertakings and is continuously pushing us to reach greater heights. SDO Pasay Teaching Force, let us now hear the inspirational message from our Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Loretta B. Torrecampo.
A wonderful afternoon to everybody, especially to our dear teachers. Siyempre, kasama din po dyan ang ating mga supervisors, ang ating chief, at lahat pong nandyan na nanonood. Bakit nga ba tayo nandito? We are here because of Prime HRM. And what is Prime HRM? It is the program to institutionalize meritocracy and excellence in human resource management. We have 4 pillars to be discussed by our 4 prolific, dynamic, and intelligent resource speakers. What are the 4 pillars? These are recruitment, selection, placement. That's number 1. RSP, recruitment, selection, placement. For number 2 pillar, we have the L&D, the learning and development. The first one will be discussed by Dr. Arturo Tolentino. The second one will be discussed by Dr. Bob Torres. The third one After the L&D, we have the performance management. Yan po yung RPMS. And the fourth one, the last stage is the rewards and recognition. The R&R will be discussed by Mr. Noel Miranda. Tama ba po ako? Si Ma'am Jessie. So, this will be enumerated to you one by one. Bakit po? Because we will be submitting our documents to the Civil Service for Service Excellence. Kung kaya po ng ibang division, kaya din ng Pasay maging excellent sa apat na areas. Di ba po ang guro papasok? Using the first pillar, the recruitment, selection, placement. Pagkatapos po niyan, they will be trained. Kaya ho papasok si L&D. And then the third part, performance management, i-measure kung ano ang ginagawa ninyo sa inyong trabaho. At ang huli, that is the reward and recognition. When we submit the documents to the civil service for recognition, we will be validated. All of us will be subjected to question and answer portion. So hindi naman po ibibigay ng civil service ang award kung hindi ho mabavalidate sa field. Siguro naman po nadaraman nyo na yung changes. Pagdating lang ho sa reklas, pati ho ako nangangatok. Matatanong nyo naman ho ng direct to the point ang ating ASDS kung ano ba ang nangyayari sa ating mga promotion, sa ating recruitment. No holds bar po kami sa pagsagot because we want these processes to be right and to give equal opportunity to all who will work hard. Maganda ho yung pantay-pantay. At nang makita kung sino ang dapat bigyan ng award. So, pagdating po ng civil service at nang ma-evaluate po ang apat natin dokumento na ang bawat isa hong dokumento ay tumatakbo po ng 10 hanggang 10 to 14 folders na makakapal. Pupunta po sila dito at mag-i-interview po sa inyo kung sino po ang masama sa raffle na pagdating po nila sa tamang panahon. I am targeting to finish everything this school year. This year ho sana hanggang December. Para ho naman, hopefully through God's guidance and through your synergetic effort, we will get the recognition of all the 4 areas. Sabi ko nga, kung kaya ng ibang division, kaya rin ng Pasay. At tayo po ay nasa right track na sa mga paggawa po, lalo na po sa recruitment. Sa L&D, hindi ho matatawaran ang galing ng ating mga supervisor, ng ating mga chief sa paggagawa po ng mga training at hindi naman po iniiwan ng ating non-teaching. So, today we already, I mentioned in the memorandum to finish the online classes at 1:30 so you can listen very well. So hindi ko alam kung sinong tatawagin namin sa araw ng pagpunta ng civil service. Kaya makinig po kayo maigi. Kasi pag nagtanong sila, i-connect po nila kung ano ba ho yung nangyayari sa RSP, papunta sa L&D, kung ano ang experience nyo, kung tama ba yung nakasulat. Mas maganda ho kasi nakasulat ay ginagawa ng maliwanag sa field para ho maiwasan din kahit ho paano ma-lessen natin ang complaint. Di naman ho siyempre perfecto. Pero once we do the right thing, makakatayo ka at makakatingin ka ng tama doon sa mga nasasakupan mo. So, enjoy. Meron pa ho silang munting parapol para sa inyo. Hindi naman ho kami mayaman. Katuwaan lang ho sa dulo. Para huwag ho kayong antukin. Bawal ho matulog. Sabi ko nga sa inyo, hindi ho namin alam kung sino yung kukunin mula sa inyong group. Siyempre, may kukunin mula sa supervisor. May kukunin ho mula sa principal. May kukunin ho mula sa master teacher. At sa lahat hong category ng mga posisyon. Kaya ho, bawal matulog, makinig ho maigi, mag-jot down. Kasi ho, yung mga isi-share nila, yan ho yung mga maaaring itanong ng mga auditor, ng validator, ng civil service this year. So let us welcome, let us do our best, let us join our hands to have this target. And syempre, sabi ko nga, hindi ho papel lang. Dapat ho makita sa tamang gawa ang lahat ng prosesong ito. Mabuhay ho ang DepEd Pasay.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Torrecampo. Ayan, nabanggit na ni Ma'am kanina na magkakaroon nga daw ng raffle. That's why we are encouraging everyone to please register doon po sa link that we have provided. Nailagay na po yata ito ni Ma'am Jessie and ni Sir Eric doon po sa chat box. Please, do register kasi yung mga naka-register lang po yung makakasama natin mamaya doon sa raffle. We will have our raffle draw after each speaker po. So please, sabi nga ni Ma'am, walang matutulog kasi hindi natin alam kung sino ang mahiwagang mabubunot din pagpunta ng civil service. Okay? So, Ma'am Torrecampo has already mentioned, ano nga ba itong Prime HRM? So, but let's try to go back before we go to the discussion proper. So, sabi nga ni Ma'am, Prime HRM stands for Program to Institutionalize Meritocracy and Excellence, Human Resource Management. It is a mechanism to continuously capacitate agencies in the performance of their human resource management, recognize best practices, and serve as a venue for exchange and development of expertise. Okay? Hindi lang naman ito natatapos sa document. Sabi nga ni Ma'am, di ba? Sobrang daming documents na ipe-prepare for the Prime HRM, but basically, at the end of the day, this Prime HRM, para din po sa fast and efficient transactions, we want to deal with the best employees and, of course, quality service. Okay. We shall now be having our discussion proper with our 4 speakers this afternoon. Our first speaker shall be discussing on the equal opportunity policies and processes for Prime HRM System 1, which is recruitment, selection, and placement. Once again, let's have our hardworking, and we say hardworking, untiring talaga, our ASDS, Dr. Arturo A. Tolentino.
Today has something to do with the recruitment, selection, and placement, or RSP. How is recruitment and selection and even placement are being done in our division office? Under the Prime HR lens system, pillar governance, and the policy code that is RSP-G-S2.1. The agency's RSP policies and or processes are customized to agency's requirement and include specific guidelines in the application of Equal Employment Opportunity Principles, or EEOP. When we talk about Equal Employment Opportunity Principles, or EEOP, our division office is actually adhering to this. That is the reason why we released a division memorandum number 323 series 2021 last April 19, 2021. Aside from this particular memorandum is anchored to the Civil Service Memorandum Circular number 07 series 2014. Ang sabi po dito, equal opportunity for employment. So, regardless of gender, regardless of ethnicity, regardless of religion, if the applicant is qualified, hinahire po natin yan. And at the same time, even yung mga aplikante na merong disability. Because based from this, at least 1% of all the positions in all government agencies, offices, or corporations shall be reserved for person with disability, provided that private corporations with more than 100 employees are encouraged to reserve at least 1% of all positions for persons with disability. So para po sa kaalaman ng lahat, for the information of everyone, one of our Teacher 1 applicants, pasensya na po, dapat may S po yan, who is deaf was hired last month and deployed at the Philippine School for the Deaf. So, ito lang po ay isang patunay na talaga pong ating pong SDO Pasay ay ine-exercise po ang equal opportunity po para po sa lahat. Regardless po yan. Kung may kapansanan ka man o wala, for as long as you are fitted, you are capable for the position, pwede mo pong makuha ang posisyon. Under the merit and selection plan of SDO Pasay, sabi rito, syempre, ang tanong kasi rito, who should we choose? Sino ba pipiliin natin? Specifically, when hiring employees. To be specific, syempre, when hiring teachers and non-teaching personnel. Ang SDO Pasay po ay naka-anchor po sa merits and selection plan ng Department of Education. And this is under the DepEd Order number 29, series of 2002. When hiring Teacher 1 po, it's everybody's knowledge that when hiring Teacher 1 position, every school year, we use DepEd Order number 7, series 2015. Sa DepEd 7, series 2015, ito po, ang sinasabi po rito, lahat ng aplikante na makaka-achieve ng 70 points, sila lang po yung papasok sa RQA, Registry of Qualified Applicants. Now, if the division exhausted na all the applicants under DepEd Order number 7, series 2015, and there are still vacant positions, kailangan pa rin ng DO, ng Teacher 1. That is the time that the SDO Pasay implements the recalibration under DepEd Order number 22, series 2015. Nire-recalibrate po yung scores ng mga aplikante na hindi nakapasok sa DepEd Order number 7. Para nang sa ganon, makapasok po sila sa RQA. Yun po yung ginagamit natin for hiring Teacher 1. But because of the pandemic that we are experiencing right now, the DepEd released another memorandum, Memorandum DM PHROD-2021-0091, last February po, 18/2021. Ito po ay at the interim strategies and protocols on teacher hiring for school year 2021-2022 in view of the COVID-19 situations. Kung hindi po ako nagkakamali, ito po ay in-emphasize po ng ating pong Division Office under Division Memorandum number 344 Series 2021. Noong pong nag-call tayo for the submission of application for Teacher 1 position in elementary level for school year 2021-2022. For hiring senior high school teachers, SDO Pasay is utilizing the guidelines set by DepEd Order number 3, Series 2016. And this particular DepEd Order, diba, has an addendum under DepEd Order number 32, Series 2016. Ito po yung hiring guidelines for senior high school. Aside from this particular guidelines under DepEd Order number 51, 2017 amended the qualification standards for senior high school teaching positions in the technical, vocational, livelihood track, and other clarifications on the hiring guidelines. Aside from this, these are the other guidelines that we are using, particularly when hiring senior high school teacher. Meron tayong interim guidelines and appointment. Meron din po tayong 2017 Omnibus Rules on Appointments and Other Human Resource Actions, revised July 2018. Meron tayong Memorandum Circular number 16, Series 2017. Ito po yung clarification on the filling out of personal data sheet, CS form number 212, revised 2017, and extension of deadline of submission. At ginagamit din po natin sa hiring process po natin at the same time for promotion yung policy guidelines on the 3 salary grade limitation on promotion, and then yung DepEd Order number 49 po, Series 2016, guidelines on the hiring of the contractual full-time and part-time teachers in senior high school. And of course, syempre, yung guidelines natin on the organizational structures and staffing patterns of stand-alone and integrated public senior high school. So ito po, the one that is actually posted on your screen right now, these are the guidelines that the SDO Pasay is are adhering to in implementing or in hiring senior high school teachers. Now, syempre, kailangan meron tayong career pathing. Ano ba talaga yung gusto natin? When, di ba? Are we gonna stay as teacher 1? Or are we happy as teacher 1? Some are happy being teacher 1, but some would like to be promoted. When we talk about promotion, particularly in teaching, non-teaching, and teaching-related positions, we are using DepEd Order number 66, Series 2007. These are the guidelines on the appointment and promotion of other teaching, related teaching, and non-teaching position. Ito po yung ginagamit natin pag nag-open ranking po tayo. Ngayon, para sa mga teacher naman na gustong maging master teacher, we are using MEC Order number 10, Series 1979. Ayan po yun. Aside from that, the DepEd or DEX Order number 57, Series 1997. Ito po yung further implementation of the career progression system for master teacher. Now, syempre, meron mga teacher dyan na gusto namang, hindi lang gusto maging teacher. Nangangarap din na maging head teacher or maging principal someday. When we talk about promotion of head teacher and principal, we are using DepEd Order number 39, Series 2007. And aside from that, we are using also DepEd Order number 42, Series 2007. Ito po yung the revised guidelines on selection, promotion, and designation of school heads. And definitely, aside from that, this DepEd Order number 42 is being revised. So we also have DepEd Order number 97, Series 2011. Ito po yung revised guidelines on the allocation and reclassification of school head position. Ito po yung gagamitin naman kung si principal po, halimbawa si principal 1, gusto niya pong magpa-reclass dahil walang available item po ng principal 2. Ito po, we are bounded by this particular revised guidelines. Now, aside from this, for the non-teaching position po, let's say for example, administrative position in the administrative services group under the general administrative service of the position classification plan, ang ginagamit po natin ay ang MEC or civil service po ito, Memorandum Circular number 10, Series 2005. Dito po makikita lahat ng klase ng positions under administrative position. Ano yung salary grade level niya? Ano yung educational qualification niya? Ano yung, kung ang experience ba ay required or non-required? Kung ang training ba ay required or non-required? Or even the eligibility. Dito, ito po yung ginagamit natin na QS na tinatawag natin. Standard Qualifications. Now, under Lens Steel System, Pillar Governance and Policy Code RSPG, that's S2.2. The agency has a PSB or Personal Selection Board that performs additional functions to address specific RSP needs. Example po, formulates customized screening criteria, guidelines, and tools. For the information of everyone, we have the PSB composition. Nirelease po yan under Division Memorandum number 002, Series 2021. Last January po, 2021. Ito po yung recomposition of the Personal Selection Board. Bakit po tayo nagkaroon ng recomposition? Siyempre po, pag may nag-retire, may mawawala, papalitan po siya. Pag natapos na po yung service na, halimbawa yung term po, halimbawa president po ng association ng high school o kaya ng elementary, pag natapos po yung term nila, siyempre po papalitan din sila. Kaya po tayo nagre-recomposition. So at present, ito po ang ating PSB or Personal Selection Board. So ang chairman po niyan ay walang iba po kundi ang atin pong OIC, ASDS, si Dr. Turay Talentino. Ang atin pong co-chairperson ay walang iba po kundi ang Chief Education Program Supervisor ng SGOD, si Dr. Mirna Vigasa. At ang members po natin ay walang iba po kundi si Mr. Librado F. Torres, Chief Education Program Supervisor, CID, Mr. Daniel A. De Ocampo, Administrative Officer 4, Ms. Glenda D. Tabaquiral, School Principal 4, President PESPA for the elementary, Mr. Agapito Teodoro Manao, School Principal 3 for the secondary, President po siya ng NAPSSHI. Ito po yung association for the secondary. Mr. Jesus B. Valencia Jr., Master Teacher 2. Siya po ang President, Federated Faculty Club President. Attorney Jean N. Lituskin, Legal Officer 3, President of Non-Teaching Personnel. Dr. Maripaz T. Mendoza, EPS, Representative of the Teaching for Level 2. Ms. Leonila E. Santos, Administrative Assistant 3, Representative of Non-Teaching Level 1. And of course, the Secretariat, Mrs. Teresita M. Martin, Administrative Officer 4 for Records. Ms. Janelle Yen Bundang, Administrative Assistant 3. Ms. Maria Graciela Paleraso, Administrative Assistant 2. And Ms. Sarah Angelica Valdez, Administrative Aid 3. So yan po yung bumubuo ng ating SDO Pasay PSB or Personal Selection Board. Ngayon po, si Personal Selection Board po, ano po bang ginagawa niya? Si Personal Selection Board, pwede niya pong rebisahin yung criteria set forth ng ating pong Department of Education, ng ating pong Civil Service, at pwede rin po siya gumawa ng board resolution base sa needs po na nakikita niya para sa improvement and better service po ng ating pong PSB. To name a few, the PSB already released 3 PSB board resolutions. Meron tayong board resolutions. These 3 resolutions, inisyu na po namin yan sa field for the information of everyone. Ang teaching, ang mga teacher po ay magiging aware kung sila ay nagbabalak magpa-promote. Kasi po, ito po ay guide din po niya. That is the reason why we released the Memorandum number 166, Series 2021 last February. Dito naman. Data on RSP efficiency. System implementation, example po yung PSP minutes of the meeting, deliberations, comparative assessment data, selection criteria, and etc. So, ito po yung example niya para lang po aware po kayo na kung ano po talaga ginagawa ni PSB. Hindi lang po masabing may PSP. So, ang ginagawa namin po dyan, gumagawa po kami ng resolution. At yung resolution po na yon ay pinapa-approve po namin sa head of the agency. na walang iba po kundi ang ating SDS, Dr. Loretta Vitor Campo. During the preliminary deliberations of the papers of the applicant, ito po yung aming template na ginagamit. Ito po yung initial evaluation po ng PSB for the applicant. Halimbawa po, open ranking for, halimbawa po, administrative aid position. So, nag-submit lahat si aplikante. Si PSB po, magko-convene po yan. At magkakaroon po kami ng initial evaluation. Ito po yung template na ginagamit namin. Name of the applicant, educational qualification, contact number. Ang una po namin ay pass or failed lang. Sir, what do you mean by pass or failed? Ito po ay titignan po muna namin yung QS. Kung si aplikante ba ay pasok sa QS. Yung license na ba hindi expired? Halimbawa, ang QS dapat 3 years teaching experience. Naka 3 years na ba siya? Ngayon po, kung ang license na ay expired, so ibig pong sabihin, ang magiging mark neto ay failed. Failed po siya sa initial evaluation namin. Ano pong remarks? Expired license. Kung si aplikante naman po, ang required QS ay 3 years experience, kung naka 2 years and 5 months lang po siya, so failed din po yun. Anong remarks na? Lack of number of months to complete the 3 years required experience. Yun po yung magiging remarks. Pagkatapos po ng aming initial evaluation, lahat po na nag-failed sa initial evaluation, sinusulatan po yon ni PSB. Ini-inform po sila na disqualified po sila due to this particular reason. Para nang sa ganun po, aware po si aplikante at hindi po siya aasa. Ngayon, ano po yung gagawin namin dun sa mga pertinent papers ng aplikante na nakapasa sa initial evaluation? Yun po ngayon ang aming pupuntusan base po sa guidelines. So, ganun po yung ginagawa ni PSB. Ngayon po, may process flow po kaming sinusunod. Para lang po ito sa kaalaman ng lahat po. Lalo-lalo na pag ang pinag-uusapan ay recruitment of Teacher 1 position. So, for Teacher 1 position, siyempre, si aplikante, the Administrative Aid 3 prepares a list of vacant Teacher 1 item for publication. Requirement po yan na kailangan i-post. Pagka-post po ngayon sa Civil Service Bulletin Board, in 1 hour, matatapos po yung posting na yon. The HRMO reviews the prepared list of vacant Teacher 1 item. I-review niya po yon for 10 minutes. Ngayon po, kung makikita niyo po sa diagram, diamond po siya. It's a decision point. Pag ni-review po ni HRMO, may decision dyan. Kompleto ba? At accurate ba? Kung hindi siya kompleto o kaya accurate, papasok po siya sa no. So si HRMO returns to Administrative Aid 3 for revision. I-revise po yan ni Administrative Aid 3 for 2 minutes. Ngayon, kung kumpleto naman po siya at walang problema, didiretso po siya sa process flow po natin. Administrative Aid 3 publishes and posts vacant Teacher 1 item in an hour or 1 hour. Now, pagka-post po, the HRMO initially evaluates the submitted document for accuracy and completeness. At ito po ay nagaganap within 20 minutes. Ngayon po, may decision point na naman po ulit tayo as to completeness and accuracy. Pag nakita ni HRMO na hindi siya kompleto or hindi siya accurate, the administrative aid 3 returns the document. So the HRMO will return the document to administrative aid 3 for 2 minutes. Then the administrative aid 3 will revise as to completeness and accuracy. Ngayon, kung complete na siya or accurate, then pupunta na po siya sa next step. The administrative aid 3 stamps the submitted document for 2 minutes. Then the administrative aid 3 prepares the list of teacher 1 applicant for 4 hours. And then the HRMO together with the division subcommittee evaluate the applicants based on the criteria set forth in DepEd Order number 7, Series 2015. Ito po ay nagaganap lang within 1 hour and 30 minutes. Pagkatapos mo nun, the HRMO reviews and consolidate the results of the individual ratings of the applicant for 15 minutes. Then the HRMO prepares and submits the division-wide list of qualified applicants for 30 minutes. And then the HRMO forwards the list of qualified applicants to the SDS for approval. That is done for 2 minutes. And then the HRMO posts the approved list of qualified applicants in 3 conspicuous places and in division website for 5 minutes. Ito na po yung tinatawag nating RQA. Then the HRMO notifies the qualified applicants for submission of requirements for 5 minutes. So lahat po na nakapasok sa RQA, ino-notify po yon ni HRMO as to the needs of the school. Halimbawa po, mayroong totality po na 10 bakanting item lang po ang kailangan. E meron po tayong 25 na nakapasok sa RQA. So yung first 10 po sa kanila, yun po yung ino-notify. The HRMO prepares the appointment and other pertinent papers of the qualified applicants and forwards to the ASDS for recommending approval. That is only good for 7 minutes. And then the SDS approves and signs appointment and other pertinent papers of the qualified applicants for 5 minutes. And that's the end of the transaction. Doon po matatapos mo yun pag pinirmahan na ni SDS. That is for submission na for civil service. So ito po yung flowchart natin for hiring teacher 1. Ngayon po, ano naman po yung proseso natin? If we want to recruit non-teaching position, syempre magsisimula po yan. Si Administrative Aid 3, magpe-prepare siya ng list of vacant non-teaching items for publication. Ililist na po lahat ng mga bakanting posisyon for publication. That is done within 15 minutes. After listing, this will be submitted to HRMO. Then the HRMO receives the prepared list of vacant non-teaching items for 10 minutes. Now, upon receiving, the HRMO will review the list. Kung mapapansin nyo po sa chart natin, may decision point na naman. Upon reviewing as to completeness and accuracy, pag nalaman ni HRMO na merong mali as to accuracy and completeness, ibabalik na po ito sa Administrative Aid 3 na gumawa nun for revision. Pag wala na pong mali, the Administrative Aid 3 publishes and posts vacant non-teaching item for 30 minutes. Then afterwards, the HRMO initially evaluates the submitted document for accuracy and completeness for 20 minutes. Again, yung pinasang document na naman, may decision point na naman po tayo dito as to completeness and accuracy. Pag nakita ni HRMO na merong kulang or hindi accurate yung pinabinigay sa kanya, ibabalik na po yun sa Administrative Aid 3 for revision. Pero kung nakita niya na tama lahat at accurate po yung data, magtutuloy po siya sa next step. Yun po yung Administrative Aid 3 stamps the submitted document. And then, the Administrative Aid 3 prepares the list of non-teaching applicants. So, ipe-prepare niya na po yung natanggap na document ng mga aplikante, yung aspiring applicant. So, magpe-prepare siya ng list. After preparing the list, the HRMO together with the Division Selection Committee, i-evaluate na ngayon yung pertinent paper ni aplikante. Using the criteria under DepEd Order number 66, Series 2007. And it is done within 30 minutes. Ngayon po, after evaluating, si HRMO, i-review niya ngayon and at i-consolidate yung result ng individual rating ng bawat aplikante. After reviewing, the HRMO will prepare and submit the division-wide Registry of Qualified Applicants, or what we call RQA. And this particular RQA prepared by HRMO, ipo-forward ngayon yan sa Office of the Schools Division Superintendent for approval of the superintendent. And that is only for 2 minutes. Yan po yung allotted time dyan. Yung proseso, dapat within 2 minutes. Mabilis naman po kami pumirma eh. And then the HRMO posts the approved RQA in 3 conspicuous places. So pag napirmahan na po ni SDS, ibabalik siya kay HRMO. Sa HRMO, ipopost ngayon yan, yung RQA, sa 3 conspicuous places. Sa kaso po ni SDO Pasay, pinopost natin yan sa ating website, at sa ating FB page, at even sa bulletin board po, dito po sa ating personnel. Then the HRMO notifies the qualified applicants for submission of requirement. So lahat ng i-hire po natin, ino-notify po yun. Halimbawa po, yung RQA for Administrative Aid 4. Meron tayong 4 na bakante, halimbawa po. 10 yung aplikante natin na nasa RQA. Yung first 4 po, sila po yung ino-notify. Padadalan po yan ng letter. Padadalan po sila ng letter informing them that they will be hired. So they need to complete all the necessary requirements. Padadalan po yan. And then the HRMO prepares the appointment and the other pertinent papers of the qualified applicants and forwarded to the ASDS for recommending approval. So, pag kompleto na as to completeness, itadalhin po yan sa office ng ASDS para po mapirmahan. And then pagkatapos po ng mapirmahan for recommending approval, ipo-forward po ngayon yon sa office of the SDS. Then the SDS approves and signs appointment and other pertinent papers of the qualified applicants. That is for 5 minutes. Then dyan po natatapos yung ating process flow. Ito po ay para sa non-teaching. Ngayon po, paano naman po sa promotion ng teaching and teaching-related and non-teaching personnel? Ganun din po yung proseso natin. Yung si Administrative Aid 3, ililist down na po lahat ng vacant positions. Tapos yung vacant position po na yon for promotion, isasubmit na po yon kay HRMO for verification. I-check na po yon for review. That's for 10 minutes. Ngayon, i-check niya yan as accuracy and completeness. Pag may mali po doon, pag may kulang po doon, ibabalik na po yon kay Admin Aid 3. para po i-correct. Pero kung wala naman pong mali, ipo-forward niya yon kay Admin A3 at ipapapublish na po niya yon. Yung mga vacant item na yon. That is for 30 minutes. Ngayon, syempre, pag pinublish na yon, the deadline ng submission, magsasubmit ng paper, yung mga aplikante. So, the applicant submitted papers. So, si HRMO initially evaluates the submitted document for accuracy and completeness. Now, ganun po ulit. I-check ni HRMO as to accuracy and completeness. Pag may mali, ibabalik niya yun kay Admin A3 for correction. Pag wala pong mali, si Admin A3, lalagyan na po ng stamp yun at isasabit na yung document for 2 minutes. Then the Administrative A3 prepares the list of applicant, yung aplikante. And then the HRMO, together with the Division Selection Committee, evaluate the applicants based on criteria set forth. Kung siya ay for principal promotion, step and order number 42, series 2007. Kung siya ay teaching and teaching related, halimbawa mga admin A3, halimbawa teacher 3, step and order number 66, series 2007 ang ginagamit po natin. And civil service memorandum circular 21, series 27. Ito po yung for non-teaching, teacher, and teaching related. Then the HRMO reviews and consolidates the result of the individual rating of the applicants for 15 minutes. Then the HRMO will prepare and submit the division-wide list of qualified applicants. So magpe-prepare po siya ng RQA. And then the HRMO forwards the RQA or the list of qualified applicants to the SDS for approval for 2 minutes. Then the HRMO posts the approved list of qualified applicants in 3 conspicuous places and division website. And that is for 5 minutes. Then the HRMO notifies the qualified applicants for submission of requirements. That is for 5 minutes also. Then the HRMO requires the appointment and the pertinent paper of the qualified applicants and forwards to the ASDS for recommending approval. And then syempre upon, di ba? As to completeness, pinirmahan na po, ni-recommend na ni ASDS, ipo-forward yun sa office of the SDS for approval and for signature. So the SDS approves and signs appointment and other pertinent papers of the qualified applicants. Ang allotted time po na is 5 minutes. Mabilis po kami pumirma, kaya po lahat siya natatapos po namin with the given time frame. Ngayon ang tanong po, paano naman po ang proseso na ginagawa ni Division Office pagdating sa reclassification? What particular process flow that the Division Office is actually utilizing with regards to reclassification of teaching and teaching-related personnel? Ito yung tinatawag nating ERF. So nagsisimula po yan, si Admin Aid 2, nagche-check po ng document based on the checklist set by the regional office. Kasi meron pong guidelines na nanggagaling sa division, sa regional office. Ano po ba yung mga requirements na kailangan na isasubmit ng isang teacher na gustong magpa-reclass? Ngayon, si Admin Assistant 2 will check the document as to completeness and accuracy. Halimbawa, ako po si Teacher 1. Gusto ko pong magpa-ERF ng Teacher 2. Magsasubmit po ako ng mga pertinent papers sa Division Office. Ngayon, yung in-charge for ERF po, na si Admin Assistant 2, i-check na po yung sinubmit kong document as to completeness based on the given requirement. Ngayon, pag may kulang po doon, si Admin Assistant 2, ibabalik yung document sa aplikante. Pero kung wala naman pong kulang, si Admin Assistant 2 receives and logs the ERF with complete and accurate document. After which, si HRMO reviews the submitted document for reclassification. So, i-reviewin niya yun po yun for 30 minutes. Titignan as to completeness and accuracy. Again, kung may problema, ibabalik po yun kay Admin Assistant 2. Pero kung wala na pong problema as to completeness and accuracy, the HRMO signs the document of qualified applicants and forwards to the AOB to affix initial. So, ipo-forward niya yan sa admin officer natin, 5. And then, SDS signs the ERF and endorsement for submission to the DepEd NCR. So, ang nangyayari po, i-recommend ngayon yan, i-endorse ng ating SDS sa DepEd NCR. Doon po natatapos yung proseso natin. Pag na-endorse na natin siya sa DepEd NCR. Ngayon po, paano naman tayo nagpaplano as to talent planning? Under Prime HR pa rin po ito ng RSP. Sabi po rito, the agency has an updated staffing plan reflecting recommended staffing modification. Example po, deployment, conversion of positions, reclassification based on planned annual HR need. Base po sa pangangailangan ng human resource natin. For your information po, for the information of everyone, ito po yung example po ng Notice of Organization, Staffing and Compensation Action or NOSCA. Ito po ay nanggagaling sa DBM, Department of Budget. Pinababaan po tayo niyan. Halimbawa po, may new item, SDO Pasay. Bababaan po tayo nito. Ito naman po, yung another example for the information of everyone. Ito po yung example na ibinababa po sa atin ni Region regarding po dun sa mga senior high school teachers na ide-deploy po sa SDO Pasay. Bakit po ide-deploy? Kasi sila po yung mga tinatawag nating DOST scholar. If I'm not been mistaken, if you are a DOST scholar, meron kayong agreement na after your graduation, you need to serve the public. So, kaya po binababa po sa atin ito. Kaya nalalaman po agad natin every year kung sinong DOST scholar ang madedeploy po sa division office natin. Para maging special science teacher 1 sa senior high school. Para lang po malaman nyo for the information of everybody. Meron po tayo nito. And then, still under talent sourcing, the agency recruits possible candidates for existing and anticipated vacancies within the year through posting in other appropriate publication modes. Ito po yung katulad po kanina ko pa in-emphasize. Nagre-recruit tayo ng candidate for vacant position. Paano natin ginagawa yon? Pinopost po natin yung vacant position natin. This is sometimes through memorandum. Diba? Nagbababa tayo ng memorandum informing the field na ito yung mga vacant position for open ranking. Aside from division memorandum, nagpo-post din po tayo sa CSC Bulletin Board. Civil Service Bulletin Board. Makikita nyo po yun. Subukan nyo pong pag may time po kayo, Pasok kayo sa website ng CSE. Marami po doon, job vacancy. Ito po yung sample niyan. Ito po ay nanggaling sa CSE Job Portal. Ang category niya po, Department of Education, Region, NCR. Ito po yung vacant position sa Pasay East High School. Yung isa naman po ay example, vacant position sa Pasay West High School. Ito po yung itsura niya na makikita nyo pagka sinearch nyo yan sa CSE Job Portal or Bulletin Board. Now, aside from this, under talent sourcing pa rin po, RSPTP S2.3, the agency's annual recruitment activities are planned to attract diverse applicants regardless of gender, civil status, disability, ethnicity, religion, and etc. So ibig pong sabihin, we are practicing equal employment opportunity. So paano po ginagawa ng division office natin yan? Ito po ginagawa natin yearly, nagko-call po tayo for the submission of application of teacher 1 position. In elementary, in junior high school, and in even senior high school. Yearly po natin yan ginagawa. Dapat po aware kayo dyan. Still under talent selection and placement, this is hiring and onboarding aspect. Under code RSP TSP S2.1. The agency's selection criteria are based on updated job description and approved/prescribed qualification standards specific for the position to be filled. Kagaya po ng na-mention ko sa inyo, we're using what was prescribed by the civil service. Position qualification standard. Hindi po tayo pwedeng lumayo rito kasi si civil service po ang nag-a-approve ng appointment natin. Pag tayo po lumayo dito, 100% yun definitely madi-disapprove ang ating appointment. So ito po yung ating selection criteria. Aside from this, si DepEd nagre-release din po yan. Pero pag nag-release po si DepEd, lagi po yan naka-angkla kung ano yung nirelease ni civil service. Katulad po nito. Ito po ay madalas yung nakikita yung qualification standard na naka-attach sa memo na i-release natin. Lalo na pag may open ranking po tayo for Teacher 2 and Teacher 3 position. Importante po kasi ang QS. And then, syempre, under still talent selection and placement, hiring and onboard aspect, under code RSP TSP S2.2, the assessment and selection process uses appropriate additional tools to evaluate candidates' functional, technical qualifications for the job. Example po, trade test, paper and pencil test of functional knowledge, etc., and background investigation for shortlisted candidates. For the information of everyone, si PSB board po natin, nagpa-background investigation din po yan. Lalo na po, pagka ang position po ay highly technical at mataas po. Just recently, we conducted a background investigation before appointing, di ba, the supervisor. Nag-background investigation po kami. Ano pong ginagawa namin dyan? Usually po, pinupuntahan po namin yung pinanggalingang eskwelahan o kaya pinanggalingang kumpanya ng aplikante. Kung hindi man po namin mapuntahan, tinatawagan po namin yung mga nilagay niya pong references, yung mga tao po doon. And then nagbe-verify po kami. Siyempre, tinitingnan namin kung siya ba talaga ay fitted to the job. Aside from background investigation po, nagbibigay din po kami ng exam. Just to show you, alam po yan ng mga teacher at saka non-teaching na nag-apply na for open ranking. May exam po sila. Ito po yung example po ng aming rubric scoring. Kung paano po ini-scorean yung test ng aplikante. Then aside from this, under code RSP-TSP 82 S2.3, the agency's assessment and selection criteria processes are responsive to applicants with special needs. Ang example po nito, yung auxiliary aids and services to visually or hearing impaired or even to physically impaired. Kung napapansin nyo po, ito yung para sa mga aplikante na may provision ba as a division office para sa mga ganitong aplikante? Meron naman po. Kung mapapansin nyo, meron tayong ramp dito sa division office para kung sakali magkaroon tayo ng aplikante na naka-wheelchair, madali pong kumanek at makahingi po ng makapag-process po ng kanyang application. And then, with regards to hearing impaired and auxiliary aid or even visually impaired, nakiki-coordinate po tayo dyan sa ating school for the deaf and school for the blind. Ganun po. Para ma-assess lang yung aplikante natin. Especially, yung ating, yung ilang supervisor po natin, lalo na yung in-charge po sa SPED, sila yung kadalasan nakakatuang ni PSB para po sa pag-assess sa mga ganitong aplikante. Just recently po, yung sinabi ko po sa inyo, yung isa nating aplikante, na dineploy natin last month. Aplikante po natin siya, Teacher 1. Last year po. SPED po siya, pero deaf po siya. So binigyan naman po siya ng tamang in-assess po siya sa fair and square po na pamamaraan. And then under talent selection and placement still, code RSP-TSP S2.4, the agency has an orientation program that helps employees understand performance, expectations, reporting relationships, and information networks needed to perform the job. For the information of everyone, nagkakaroon po tayo sa SDO Pasay, always conduct orientation to the newly hired Teacher 1 using the module issued by the NAIAP Central Office. Ito po yung tinatawag nating Teacher Induction Program or TIP. But for the non-teaching personnel po na hinahire natin, usually ino-orient po natin sila. Hindi po natin sila dinedeploy basta-basta na parang hinayaan po natin silang lumangoy sa kanilang mga paa. Ino-orient po natin sila. Halimbawa po, yung hired na administrative aid na madedeploy po halimbawa sa SDO Pasay Personnel Department. Nagkakaroon po sila ng orientation. Ano yung trabaho niya, ano yung gagawin niya, ano yung mga do's and don'ts. Ganun po. Para at least po alam niya kung paano gumalaw sa isang organisasyon na kung saan meron pong mission, may vision. So, yan po yung ginagawa natin pagdating po sa recruitment, selection, and placement. With that, syempre pagkatapos po nun, under RSP GC 2.1, ito po yung review and enhances RSP policies, policy guidelines, and or processes to meet agency requirement and promote equal employment opportunity principles in collaboration with the PSB, managers, supervisors, and top management. Ano pong ginagawa natin dito? The SDO Pasay is adhering. Definitely. Kaya nga tayo sa EEOP na sinasabi natin, equal opportunity for everybody. And the SDO Pasay is actually using the process flow na diniscuss ko po sa inyo kanina. Kaya nga po naglabas tayo ng reiteration under Division Memorandum number 323 Series 2021. Ito po yung reiterating the International Organization for Standardization or ISO. Dahil ISO na po tayo eh. Procedure on Recruitment, Selection, and Placement or RSP. Process flow chart. And at the same time, for the information of everybody, sa personal selection board naman, ang ginagawa namin, we study the policy. Then afterwards, if we think that we need to upgrade the standard based from the existing needs, gumagawa po kami ng board resolution. To give you sample, ayan nga po, yung board resolution 001, 002, and 003. Nagbo-board resolution po kami. Under Code RSP GC 2.3, ito naman po yung identifies and or applies competencies and corresponding key behaviors required for an employee to deliver excellent performance in specific job. Paano po ginagawa ito ni PSB? Ito po ay ginagawa niya during the interview. Bakit po? During the interview, the PSB uses behavioral event interview and or competency-based exam. Nagpapa-exam po kami. At yung interview po namin, behavioral po siya. Because using behavioral event interview, we can predict the capabilities of the applicant. Ganun po. So, yan po, para at least aware po kayo. Pag tinanong kayo, ano bang klaseng paraan ng pag-i-interview ni PSB Board sa SDO Pasay? May sasagot po tayo. Yung PSB Board po namin, gumagamit po yan ng behavioral event interview and or competency-based exam. So, yun po yun. Just for the information of everybody. With that, thank you very much for listening. I hope that you learned something from my talk. Again, thank you and keep safe.
Okay, thank you so much, Sir ASDS. That was a comprehensive start for the discussion on Prime HRM. Now, tulad ng nabanggit natin kanina, we will be having a raffle draw after each speaker. Okay, pero bago po tayo pumunta doon sa raffle draw, meron po kasi tayong 2 questions for RSP. So we will be requesting our speaker, si Sir ASDS. Sa kanya po natin i-address yung questions. Sir Art, nandiyan na po ba si Sir Art?
Ito na po ako.
Hi, sir!
Hi!
We can only accommodate 2 questions lang po sana per speaker, ano?
Sige
po. Sir, yung unang question po, we are hoping na yung nagbigay po ng question is from SDO Pasay kasi anonymous po yung account.
Okay po.
Ito po yung question niya. Paano yung permanent na yung teacher pero walang ma-produce or di malabas ng DO yung appointment? Sana po may makasagot.
Ganito yan, ma'am. Teacher na siya ba na nasa eskwelahan at hindi malabas? Imposible namang hindi malabas yung appointment. Meron tayong mga cases kasi, ganito yan ma'am. Kuminsan kasi meron tayong cases na tinatawag natin, gumagawa tayo ng appeal sa civil service. Ngayon po, pag nag-file si ng appeal sa civil service, syempre po magtatagal yung appointment. So hindi po talaga ma-release. Ngayon po, kung ang tinatanong naman po nila, yung mga present appointment po ngayon na pinagtibay ni civil service, sa ngayon po kasi, ang ating pong field office ng CSC ay actually mga trabahador po doon ay naka-work from home. So,
Yes.
lagi po kami nakikipag-coordinate po sa CSC natin field office kasi palagi ko pong pinatatanong po yan at papalo kung kailan po bababa ang mga pinagtibay na appointment. Sa ngayon po, wala pa pong bumababa, nasa CSC pa rin po. Dahil nga po siguro dahil naka-lockdown din po sila because of the pandemic.
Okay, thank you po, Sir Art. So, direct from the
Okay po.
horse's mouth yun. Another question po, dalawa po yung nagtanong nito, pero same essence naman po. Ang tanong is, they were asking kung valid pa daw po yung naging ranking noong September 2020.
Actually, ma'am, depende yan kung anong ranking. Kung yan po ang tinatanong niya ay para sa Teacher 1 application, yung ranking natin ng 2020-2021 for Teacher 1, definitely po naglabas na ng ruling dyan at yung nag-reiterate na rin po tayo dyan, nagbaba tayo ng DepEd memo, na magiging valid lang po yung mga nandoon kung sila po ay una, magsusulat ng letter of intent na gusto po nilang mag-reapply. So pag nagsulat po sila ng letter of intent, nag-express po sila ng reapplication, ang magsasubmit lamang po sila ng mga additional papers, yun po yung mga certificate, upang sa ganon ma-recompute po ang kanilang scores. It doesn't necessarily mean po, baka po kasi mali yung ma-perceive nila na sabi po kasi ni Sir Art, magsasubmit lahat ng papers, kaya lahat ng papers sinubmit. Liliwanagin ko po, halimbawa po, sa criteria ng specialized training, under DepEd Order number 7 po, ang specialized training, magkakapuntos lang po tayo doon ng 10 points kung ang training days ay 10 days. Consecutive po iyon. Pag hindi po siya umabot ng 10 days consecutive, 0 po ang score noon. O ngayon, dahil ngayon papasok na naman po, magra-ranking na naman po tayo. Nag-express si applicant. Nag-submit po siya ng certificate. Ang sinabit ng certificate, halimbawa for specialized training, ay NC1 or NC2 certificate for computer servicing. Kung nung previous ranking 0 po siya, ngayon po magkakapuntos na siya. Maliwanag po yon. Kung ang tinatanong naman po ni teacher, yung previous ranking, ang nire-refer niya ay yung previous ranking for master teacher na hindi po nabigyan ng item, maliwanag din po sa provision ng MEC Order 10 natin, Series 1979, lahat po ng hindi nabigyan ng item at nasa RQA, magre-reapply po sila by submitting letter of intent at magsara-submit po sila ng additional paper kung gusto po nilang mapataas ang scores nila para po makasama sila sa open ranking. Kasi po, ang may validity lang for actually 9 months nga lang po yan ayun lamang pong RQA for Teacher 1 position na ginagawa po natin yearly na nag-hire po tayo ng Teacher 1. Yun lamang po.
Thank you so much, Sir Art. So, yun lang naman po yung mga questions natin under RSP. Okay?
Okay po.
So, nasagot na po ni Sir Art yung questions para sa kanya. It will be the other way around ngayon. So, sabi niyo kanina, meron tayong raffle draw. Pero, para may twist naman yung raffle draw natin, may questions po kami para doon sa mabubunot sa raffle. And kung sino po yung mabubunot natin, paki-type na lang po yung sagot sa chat box. We will be giving you 10 seconds para ma-type po yung inyong sagot. Okay, kasi we still have 3 other speakers this afternoon. Okay? So, nag-prepare yung ating Prime HRM team ng questions for principal. So, yung una natin, okay? Sige, Sir Eric, pili muna tayo kung sino po yung mapalad na may chance makapag-uwi na flash drive. Solano Noraida from Pasay City North High School, Tramon. Nandyan po ba kayo? Okay. Paramdam ka po kung nandyan ka. Okay. Anyway, ito po yung question para kay Ma'am. Doon po sa discussion ni Sir Art, could you please identify the DepEd order that serve as guidelines on the appointment and promotion of other teaching-related and non-teaching positions? So we are looking for DepEd order number and yung year of publication po niya. Ma'am Noraida Solano of Pasay City North High School, Tramo. DepEd order number blank, series of blank. Last 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Sige, Sir Eric, siguro kuha pa tayo ng isa. Okay, si Ma'am Liva Velarde from P. Villanueva Elementary School. Sige, Ma'am, ulitin ko lang po yung tanong. We are looking for the DepEd order that serves as guidelines on the appointment and promotion of other teaching-related and non-teaching positions. So, DepEd order number blank, series of blank. Ma'am Liva, paki-type na lang po sa chat box ang inyong sagot.
O, 66, 2007.
Wala si Ma'am Liva. We have to ask the Prime HRM team. So, okay lang ba? Okay, sige. So, we will be giving the prize to Sir Yul Benosa, DepEd order number 66, series of 2007. Okay. So, kung sino po yung makakapagbigay ng tamang sagot, paki-communicate or coordinate na lang po kay Ma'am Jessie Reyes of SGOD. Okay. Sir Eric, isa pa po, meron pa pong isang tanong. So again, dire-request po sana namin kung sino po yung nabunot. Sana po kayo yung maunang sumagot sa ating chat box. Okay, from the Philippine School for the Deaf, Neil Joy Don Diego. Okay. Could you please cite kung ano po yung program na niro-roll po natin for the newly hired teacher 1? Ito po yung pinaka-onboarding nila. Towards the end discussion ni Sir Art, meron siyang binigay na program na niraran natin yearly for the newly hired teacher 1. Ano po yung tawag natin doon sa program na yun? Neil Joy Don Diego of Philippine School for the Deaf. Nandyan ka po ba? Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Ma'am Jessie, wala uli yung mapalad na nabunot. Oo nga, ang dami ng ano eh. Sumagot? Okay. Ma'am Aida Boneta from Pasay City East High School. Kung sasagot po si Ma'am Aida ng Pasay East, sa kanya po makukuha ang prize. Ma'am Aida Boneta. Okay. Wala po si Ma'am Aida, so ibigay na lang po natin doon sa naunang sumagot. Ma'am Devi Kapinpin of Apelo Cruz Elementary School. Ma'am Devi, coordinate na lang po kay Ma'am Jessie Reyes of SDO. Okay, let's keep the ball rolling kasi tatlo pa yung topics natin this afternoon. We shall now proceed to our second session, which is on the EOP policies and processes for Prime HRM System 2, which is on learning and development. And of course, who else can we count on when it comes to curriculum and learning? SDO Pasay, let us all welcome our Chief Education Program Supervisor of the Curriculum Implementation Division. Let's have Mr. Librado F. Torres.
Highly motivated men and women of the Schools Division of Pasay City, magandang buhay, magandang araw sa ating lahat. Isinusulong sa program to institutionalize meritocracy and excellence in human resource management ng Civil Service Commission ang profesional na pag-unlad ng bawat empleyado ng ating pamahalaan. At kasama dito sa tinatawag na Prime HRM ang sistemang learning and development. Friends, this is Prime HRM, learning and development. Ano nga ba ang learning and development na nakapaloob sa Prime HRM? Learning and development is a systematic process to enhance an employee's skills, knowledge, and competency, resulting in better performance in a work setting. There are two keywords. Una po, ang learning. Learning is concerned with the acquisition of knowledge, skills, and attitudes. On the other hand, development is the broadening and deepening of knowledge in line with one's development goals. The goal of learning and development is to develop or change the behavior of individuals or groups for the better sharing knowledge and insights that enable them to do their work better or cultivate attitudes that help them perform better. Sa ating pong dibisyon ay bumuo tayo ng basic guidelines on the conduct of division learning and development. Ito po ay para sa ating mga guro, ngunit meron din po tayong mga pagsasanay, mga seminars, mga trainings para rin sa ating non-teaching personnel. Binibigyan din po natin ng ating mga seminars and trainings for non-teaching personnel ay nakaangkla din po sa proseso, pamamaraan, at mga patakaran ay sinasagawa rin po natin para sa mga seminars and trainings for our teaching personnel. But for now, let me focus on our basic guidelines on the conduct of division learning and development with emphasis on the seminars and trainings that we conduct for our teachers. Rational, skilled, and performing human resource must be the concern of all instructional leaders in our academic institutions. And those start with efficient and effective learning and development activities. With the intensification of the implementation of the enhanced basic education or K-12 program, quality L&D programs and activities shall play a vital role in the practice of the articulated curriculum. Moreover, quality training of teachers and other instructional leaders can provide important inputs for the localization, modification, and innovation for an enriched curriculum with the same purpose of bringing to the learners a more meaningful and substantial lifelong learning. To intensify the instructional leadership in Pasay City and produce better learning outcomes for all types of learners, the Schools Division of Pasay City has crafted its quality assurance policies on learning and development. Ano nga ba ang ating direksyon para sa ating L&D program? The Schools Division Office of Pasay City shall pave the way for more effective and efficient learning and development processes and practices for better learning outcomes that shall be facilitated by competent and committed instructional leaders. Malinaw po na ang ating tinatahak ay mapaunlad ang kakayahan ng ating mga instructional leaders. Kasama po dyan ang ating mga guro, mga principals, supervisors, master teachers, department head. Nang gayon ay sa kahuli-hulihan ay mapataas natin ang antas ng pagkatuto ng ating mga mag-aaral. Foci of our L&D programs and activities. Instructional leaders in the SDO Pasay City shall have the following concerns in the conduct of L&D programs, activities, and engagement. K-12 subjects content, teachers' implementation of the curriculum and delivery of instruction, innovations, interventions, modifications as part of localizing and enriching the curriculum, student-centered learning, and latest trends in education. Supervisors shall also assist the school heads who shall be implementing school-based learning and development programs, activities, and engagement. The undertaking of quality trainings, which includes school-based in-service training for teachers or INSET and learning action cells or LACs, in all public elementary, secondary, and special schools shall be intensified by all instructional leaders through improved processes and practices, which include instructional leaders in the SDO shall perform the following: profiling of teachers and teachers' needs assessment, preparation of database or records of teachers provided with L&D intervention, preparation and implementation of L&D plan, preparation of training design with training activity plan, preparation of proposals, preparation of training reports, including assessment on the quality of conducted trainings, conduct of reviews on L&D policies, guidelines, systems, and processes. Next, human resources. And under this, the SDO shall provide the following: technical assistance to education program supervisors, school heads, PSDSS, department heads on conducting training of teachers and other teaching-related personnel. Technical assistance to master teachers and some best teachers on conducting other L&D programs or activities. And next is the LGU and community support. The SDO shall seek the assistance of the local government unit and the academic community in providing material and financial support for the training and other capability building activities of the instructional leaders in the city. For the procedure on learning and development, training of teachers, the preparation, the conduct, and the accomplishment of post-activity reports. The division-level, division-initiated trainings shall be conducted employing the following procedures with reference to the CID Quality Management Manual. The objective is to describe the processes of facilitating and implementing the procedure and the conduct of trainings for teachers, which aim to upgrade professional development of all teaching personnel in the division. Scope: all trainings for all teachers in all learning areas and in all grade levels. Definition of terms: learning refers to the procedure in which a person acquires and develops expertise, capabilities, behaviors, and attitudes. It entails the change of habits through experience as good as extra formal ways of serving to folks to study inside or outside the workplace. Development is the growth or recognition of an individual's potential and competencies by means of the availability of learning and educational experiences. Training refers to the systematic software of formal strategies to impart capabilities and support humans to collect the skills necessary for them to perform their jobs satisfactorily. Program or training design is a conceptual outline that provides succinct and essential information for a specific professional development program. It delineates the scope and general requirements of the program. There is its objectives, program content, duration, implementation strategy, and projected cost. Reference documents: we have the Training and Development Program Designing Guide and Tools, DepEd Order number 32 series of 2011, regarding policies on training and development, programs and activities, and the DepEd Training and Development System Operations Manual. Who are the authorities responsible for the conduct of our trainings for our teachers? One, Education Program Supervisor. He or she is responsible in implementing the programs for the professional development of all division teaching and teaching-related personnel, and in implementing and managing division-wide staff development programs pursuant to the national policies and standards. Next is the PSDSS, or the Public Schools District Supervisors, who lead in providing professional advice in building the leadership capacity of school personnel. The Chief Education Program Supervisor is the overall responsible and accountable in implementing programs for the professional development of all division teaching and teaching-related personnel. He recommends to the schools division superintendent the approval of all trainings. And lastly, the schools division superintendent, who approves the implementation of all trainings for teachers at the divisional level. Process matrix: preparation and trainings. Process owners are the EPSS and our PSDSS. Planned results are the approved project proposal, division memo on trainings, seminars and workshops, results of QAME, notice of award if applicable, office order, copies of accomplishment reports, copies of liquidation reports. For the conduct of trainings, process owners are again our EPSS and PSDSS, planned results, matrix of activities, and program of activities. For the accomplishment of post-activity reports, again, the process owners are the EPSS and the PSDSS. Planned results are the liquidation reports and accomplished reports, QATAME analysis. For the preparation of trainings, here is the process flow, starting with the consolidation of the training needs assessment report from the CID. And of course, we also get this from the schools with our principals as focal persons. And this one ends with the preparation of the documents needed, especially the memorandum to be signed and approved by the school's division superintendent for the conduct of training and accomplishment of post-activity reports. Okay, the process of the conduct of trainings starts with the secretariat facilitating the registration of participants, and this one ends with the EPSS and the PSTSS leading the closing program for the conduct of each specific program or training. And for the accomplishment of post-activity reports, this activity focuses on the preparation of liquidation reports and preparation of the post-activity reports. What do we expect? Of course, we expect increased CPD units of teachers, and more than that, we expect improved delivery of instruction, improved teaching strategies, so that at the end, we can improve the learning outcomes of our school children. For the conduct of school-based learning action cell sessions, schools' implementation of the school-based LAC sessions shall be in accordance with the framed Schools Division Office Learning Action Cell Plan, parallel to the department's guidelines on conducting LAC sessions. The teachers' LAC shall be conducted by the academic institutions for at least 2 hours every other week. School heads, education program supervisors, public schools district supervisors, department heads, and master teachers shall lead the conduct of LAC with the initiatives and innovative practices for improved delivery of instruction as primary theme of discussion. Quarterly, division LAC shall also be conducted by the education program supervisors and by our public schools district supervisors. On equal opportunity policy in the conduct of L&D activities, as a standing policy of our division, learning service provider or providers and participants are given equal opportunity to join any learning and development initiatives and adheres to non-discrimination policy on the basis of sexual orientation, gender identity, and expression. The Human Resource Development Unit and Monitoring and Evaluation Unit of the School's Governance and Operations Division shall be with the instructional leaders during the conduct of L&D engagements, especially during trainings of teachers to assist in the quality assurance, provision of technical assistance, and monitoring and evaluation for better conduct of future trainings. And I repeat, the trainings include also our trainings and seminars for our non-teaching, following same steps, same procedures of our trainings for our teachers. All instructional leaders in the SDO, Pasay City, and all teachers shall be encouraged to send their feedback to the Office of the Curriculum Implementation Division, with me leading the team of the CID. Again, for the trainings for our teachers. For the non-teaching personnel, of course, it's our HR MO and the HRD of the SGOD. Okay? Now, going back to the program to institutionalize meritocracy and excellence in human resource management, Prime HRM Learning and Development, in this system, there are 3 lenses. One is practices used to determine the actual implementation of the HRM system. Kaya po nagkakaroon ng interview para sa validation po ng ating practices in our division or in an agency, government agency, I should say. The next one is competencies, determines the capabilities of the HRM office. And the third one is systems, which refer to the evaluation of indicators pertaining to policies, processes, procedures, tools, and systems that govern an agency's HRM. So tatlo po ito: practices, competencies, system. Okay. Itong tatlong lenses po na ito ay may tatlo ring pillars. One is governance, second one is planning and monitoring and evaluation, and the third one is execution. Now, for meeting maturity level 2, there are indicators that we have to accomplish, and as a proof of practicing those indicators, as evidence, proof that we meet maturity level 2, we have to show or present evidences or documents required by that indicator. For the first lens, system, under the pillar governance with the element policy, the agency's learning and development policies and or processes are customized to the agency's requirements and include specific guidelines on application of equal opportunity principles. As an evidence of meeting maturity level 2, and as an evidence that we accomplished this indicator, we need to come up with an L&D plan with specific guidelines or mechanics on applying equal opportunity policy. Yan po yung pinresent ko kanina na ating pong SDO Pasay City basic guidelines for the conduct of learning and development, focusing on the seminars and trainings for teachers. Okay? Still on governance under system, this time with the element structures and roles. The agency has a professional development committee or PDC that performs additional functions to address specific L&D needs. Ano ba ang kailangan nating mga dokumento? Proof that we are meeting maturity level 2. 1, signed office order or memorandum for the composition of Human Resource Development Committee or its equivalent with additional functions, minutes or resolutions of meetings, and guidelines in the selection of nominees to L&D interventions or scholarship. Next one, still on governance under system, this time with the element review mechanism. The agency, our division, should track the efficiency of learning and development processes, and we should use data to improve system. What do we need to present as an evidence of meeting maturity level 2? System or tools to generate percentage of employees provided L&D intervention, budget utilization report, and participants' feedback on conduct of L&D interventions. Next, still on governance under the lens system, element information and communication, use of technology. The agency uses a computer-based system to maintain L&D data and documents. And for this indicator, we have to present computerized data based on the percentage of employees provided L&D intervention, list of trainings attended per employee per year, training evaluation result per training program conducted. Ito po yung mga dokumento na hiningi po namin sa inyo sa mga paaralan para po mapabilang sa preparasyon natin ng ating mga papeles o dokumento as evidences or proofs that we accomplished or we're meeting maturity level 2 in terms of information and communication or use of technology. Still on governance and still on the pillar element information and communication, the agency maintains documentation and records on L&D process flow, system review data on L&D efficiency, system implementation, learning service provider management system. And for this indicator, we have to come up with the following documentation and records: L&D process flow, annual L&D report, highlighting what is planned and what actually conducted, minutes of PDC deliberations and recommendations on L&D program, and the profile of our internal and external learning service provider or subject matter expert. For the next pillar under the lens system, planning and monitoring and evaluation, same element, L&D monitoring and evaluation. The agency uses L&D evaluation tools, processes to assess participants' acquisition of learning via learning objectives. So we should present our accomplished learning application plan or the like, and the pre and the post test constructed relative to the conduct of a specific training. Next, on execution, still under the lens system, this time with the element design, the agency has a training design process that involves developing terminal and session objectives aligned with validated learning needs of targeted learners to guide training activity plan preparation and implementation. For this indicator, we need to prepare and we need to present as a proof of meeting maturity level 2 training designs with training activity plan and of course, facilitator's guide. Still on execution, this time with pillar element design, the agency designs training program that use a mix of methodologies that are learner-centered to facilitate achievement of learning objectives. And the design is captured in a training activity plan. And as a proof, we have to present training activity plan containing experiential and participative methodologies, including some of the test questionnaire and some of the test answers constructed for that specific program or training. Still on execution under system, this time with the pillar element development. The agency develops customized learning materials and training aids to support the delivery of learning and development programs. What are the evidences required? Sample customized learning materials and training aids such as facilitator's guide, training activity plan, and some audiovisual presentation materials. Still on execution under the lens system with the pillar element delivery. The agency's L&D interventions are executed, monitored, and evaluated based on activity plan. As an evidence or proof of meeting maturity level 2 for this indicator, we have to present report on actual conduct via training activity plan and documentation of the trainings from execution, monitoring, and evaluation based on the detailed training activity plan. Still on execution under this lens system, this time with the element learning service provider management, the agency has guidelines for identifying, monitoring, and evaluating efficiency and effectiveness of L&D service providers. Evidences required, approved guidelines for identifying, monitoring, and evaluating LSPs like contract with the resource persons, guidelines on the selection of resource persons, and summary of trainers' rating, per program. For the second lens, competencies, pillar, governance, and element policy review and formulation, agency reviews and refines L&D policies, policy guidelines to meet agency requirements and promote equal opportunity principles in collaboration with the PDC managers, supervisors, and top management. And like in the system, this indicator for competencies require us to present L&D plan with specific provision on EOP and minutes of the review of the L&D plan and its implementation. Still on governance for competencies with the pillar element systems review, the agency tracks and analyzes efficiency of L&D processes and uses data to improve or recommend improvements in L&D policies, policy guidelines, and their execution in collaboration with PDC managers, supervisors, and top management. And as an evidence or proof of meeting maturity level 2, in this indicator, we need to present, again, the report on the annual L&D policy and process review with recommended improvements. Still on governance, this time with the pillar element use of technology, the agency uses computer-based records and data management system to maintain L&D documents. At sa indicator na ito, kailangan natin ang mga sumusunod na dokumento. Simple database containing percentage of employees provided L&D intervention, list of trainings attended per employee per year, and training evaluation result per training program conducted. Still on governance, under competencies with the element communication, the agency updates everyone in the agency on L&D system and processes and provides system review data to top management managers, supervisors, and the PSD. And we need to present the following: office memo, circular, general assembly orientation with attendance sheet, and published report on the annual learning and development system and process review. For the next pillar under competencies, which is planning and monitoring and evaluation, and pillar element learning needs assessment, agency develops and uses learning needs assessment tools and methods to identify learning needs of employees to guide L&D planning. Kaya naman po, kinukuha natin madalas itong ating individual development plan or yung ating training needs assessment at iba pang mga needs assessment tools to show or as a proof that we are meeting maturity level 2 of this indicator. Still on planning and monitoring and evaluation with the element L&D plan development, the agency develops an annual L&D plan that identifies training programs to address employees' learning needs based on a needs assessment in collaboration with managers or supervisors. Again, as a proof, we present the approved annual L&D plan. Planning and monitoring pa rin po tayo with the element M&E plan development and execution. The agency develops and uses M&E plan for tracking and assessing the implementation and results of the annual learning and development plan. For the evidence, of course, we have the approved M&E plan. Planning and M&E pa rin po tayo. Under competencies, this time developing M&E tools and approaches, agency develops pre- and post-test questionnaire or tools and approaches for use in assessing participants' acquisition of knowledge. For the proofs, we have the evaluation tools, the pre- and the post-test, and the training evaluation report, and the structured learning experience activities such as role-playing, or some simulation exercises, I should say. And on execution, still under competencies with the element designing L&D interventions, the agency prepares training activity plan that includes terminal and session objectives, topics, and methodologies to address validated learning needs of specific groups. Of course, we have to present training activity plan and training design. Still on execution, with the element developing learning and development material, our division should develop customized learning materials and training aids to support delivery. And for that, we have to come up with the following documents: customized learning materials and training aids, such as facilitator's guide, training activity plan, and audio visual presentation material. Still on execution, we have the pillar element delivery of L&D interventions. And we have the indicator agency conducts or managers implementation of L&D interventions based on activity plan. Okay? And evidence requirements, report on actual conduct via the training activity plan. Still on execution, this time with the element learning management, the agency facilitates and monitors participants' learning process during training program using appropriate management of learning activities. And as an evidence or proof that we accomplished this indicator, we've got to present written documentation of the learning process. Still on execution with the element conducting M&E, agency uses tools, approaches to assess the learning acquired by the participants and recommends improvements in the design and conduct of L&D interventions and follow-through activities to supplement training. For the documents, we have to review the results of the following tools with recommendations, if any: pre- and post-test, training evaluation, and structured learning experience activities such as role-playing and simulation exercises. Still on execution, this time with the element managing learning service providers, our division should develop and apply guidelines for identifying, monitoring, and evaluating efficiency and effectiveness of L&D service providers. As a proof of meeting maturity level 2 of this indicator, we need to have or we need to present the following documents: guidelines on the selection of LSPs, SMEs, resource persons, and summary of trainers rating per program. Sa ating pong dibisyon, patuloy po ang ating mga pagsisikap para sa professional na pag-unlad ng ating mga guro, ng ating mga administrators, principals, gayon din po yung mga non-teaching personnel natin. Kamukha po ng sinasabi ng ating Civil Service Commission, gawing lingkod bayani po natin ang bawat kawani. Ito po ang Prime HRM Learning and Development. Maraming salamat po.
Ayan, thank you so much, Sir Bob. I think that was a crystal clear discussion on LND, which is the principle 2 for Prime HRM. Okay? So, wala tayong questions for LND. Sige, so ngayon po, kami naman yung magbibigay ng question, katulad kanina. Okay, so pero hindi na tayo magra-raffle kung sino yung sasagot. So, palakasan na lang po ito ng internet connection, paunahan makapag-type ng sagot. Okay. For the LND program of SDO Pasay, who is our approving authority? We need to have the complete name of our approving authority for SDO Pasay LND programs. So, paki-type na lang po Wala pa? Okay. Sige, we will accept the answer from Sir Jess Valencia. Of course, it is our SDS. The approving authority is our SDS. Okay? So, inaccept na po ng Prime HRM team yung sagot ni Sir Jess Valencia. Si SDS po ang ating approving authority. So, Sir Jess, coordinate na lang po kay Ma'am Jessie sa SGOD. Pero hindi po ito titulo ng House and Lot. Okay. So, before we have our 5-minute wellness break, we would like to remind, no, sa schools din po, meron din tayong attendance. So, please do not forget. Okay, ganyan po talaga pag live. Okay, so bago tayo pumunta doon sa 5-minute wellness break, reminder po, meron po tayong attendance sa ating respective schools. Ang deadline po ng submission for the teaching personnel is on May 5. And kailangan din po na mag-register tayo dun sa attendance link natin na provided. Please visit our Facebook page for the attendance link. Okay? Posted on screen na din po ang attendance link. Okay? Before we proceed with our 2 sessions this afternoon, let's have our 5-minute wellness break. Thank you. Okay, ganun talaga pag live. We are now back and we hope that we are now invigorated as we had our 5-minute wellness break na medyo nagkaroon pa ng konting extension. Okay? So before we have our session 3, may mga questions po kasi tayo sa chat box na gusto pa rin namin i-accommodate since wala naman tayo naging question sa LND. Okay? We would like to request our ASDS, Sir Art. Ayun. Sir Art, ang
Sagutin yan.
kayang-kaya sagutin ni Sir to. Sir Art, may
Yes,
nag-request po ng status update ng PBB 2019.
Actually, pag sinasabi pong status update ng PBB 2019, naghihintay na lang kasi tayo syempre ng memo na magagaling sa taas. Pero base nga 'di ba sa base nga sa guidelines, qualified naman ng department natin na maka-receive ng PBB for 2019. Ang tanong lang po kasi rito, kailan ba talaga i-release? Ang specific date po kasi definitely wala pa naman pong binababang memorandum galing sa central office kung talagang kailan siya i-release. Siguro ang may sasuggest ko lang para at least alam din sa field na from the moment that the memorandum and notice are released to our division office, definitely we will make a memorandum in the field so that everybody will know when. Para at least lahat tayo magiging masaya. But as of the moment, wala pa po tayong final date kung kailan po talaga siya i-release Maghintay-hintay lang po tayo. Sabi nga nila, patience is a virtue. Ang mahalaga, nalaman natin na the Department of Education is qualified to receive PBB. Napakaswerte nga ng mga teacher natin ngayon So, yun po.
Okay. Thank you, Sir Art. So, sigurado, qualified, may matatanggap. Alamin pa lang natin kung kailan. Sir,
Opo. Pero
isa na lang
pinaproseso na naman po yan sa central office. Ang naman po, nakapag-submit na po tayo ng mga initial reports na Yun na lang yung final date. Guidelines kasi ang kailangan natin Yun po.
Okay. Thank you, Sir Art. Sir, meron pang isang pahabol
Yes,
na
ma'am.
question. Sorry. I have this concern. What about my friend? She used to be ranked 1 but the rank 3 got in way back 2018. So,
Naku po.
under RSP po ito.
Ay, maganda pong tanong yan para po sa paglilinaw sa field. Ganito po kasi yan. Si PSB Board po is a recommendatory body. Ibig pong sabihin, kami pong miyembro na nakapalaw po sa PSB Board po ng ating division office, kami po yung nag-screen ng aplikante, kami po yung nag-screen ng papel, nag-scrutinize, nagbibigay ng score base po dun sa guidelines. Kami rin po yung nag-interview ng mga aplikante. Then definitely po, after po niyan, syempre po kami rin yung nagra-rank ng aplikante base po sa kanilang paper, evaluation, at base rin po sa result ng kanilang interview at exam. So, i-release po yan, kaya nagkakaroon tayong tinatawag na RQA. Yun po yung pinapost natin. Kami pong si PSB, we are just a recommendatory body. The approving authority will approve kung yung pong nasa aming recommendation ay swak po doon sa criteria. Ngayon po, kung may mga pagkakataon po kasi na si agency, lalo na po si approving authority, may pagkakataon po kasi na ang kinukuha niya base sa kanyang, base po syempre, kami magre-recommend lang base sa background investigation na ginawa namin, base po dun sa score niya sa RQA. So, lahat po yon i-report namin. So, si approving authority po, pag-aaralan na po yon. Kaya gusto rin po namin itong maipaalam sa field. Hindi po porket ikaw po yung number 1, automatic po yon na ikaw na po yung makukuha. Para po alam po ng field yon. Kung minsan po kasi, sa result ng background investigation, may problema si number 1, si number 2, si number 3 lang yung maayos. Siyempre, ang mas papaboran po nun, merit and fitness plus the background investigation, pwede pong kuhain ni appointing authority si number 3. Para po maliwanag po yon. Alam ko po, sa field kasi kung minsan, sasabihin nga sumasama yung loob nila. Nung una, ganyan din po yung perception ko nung teacher po ako. Na ang akala ko, pag ako po yung number 1, automatic ako na yon. Hindi po ganun ang nangyayari. Nagba-background investigation po tayo kasi lalo na po sa mga sensitive at highly specialized position. So, bukod sa paper evaluation, interview, exam, may background investigation din po tayong ginagawa. Kaya kung minsan, may mga cases po tayo na hindi si rank 1 ang nabibigyan po o naiuupo sa posisyon. Kung minsan po si 2 or si 3. Kung minsan nga po si number 5 eh. Ang mahalaga po, ang kukuhain at i-appoint ni appointing authority ay yun lamang pong nandoon sa RQA. Yun po yung polisiya at ruling po nun. Sana po nabigyan ko po ng linaw ang field. Kasi yan po yung medyo nagiging misconception sa field natin na pag nag-number 1 tayo, proud na siya yung makukuha. Hindi po. May mga pagkakataon po kasi na si number 1 hindi po nagpipit para po sa posisyon. Dahil pag nag-background investigation, alam niyo naman po, sa background investigation, ang tinatanong po dyan, paano magtrabaho si aplikante, kamusta yung performance niya, paano yung pakikisama niya, nagdi-deliver ba siya ng ine-expect sa kanya. Kung minsan po, negative yung nakukuha namin sa background investigation. Kaya isa rin po kasi yun sa factor. Sana po maliwanag po sa inyo yun. Yun lamang po.
Okay. Maraming salamat, Sir Art. Maliwanag. Ang ating PSB ay recommendatory body. Okay. Palawak yung sagot ni Sir Art. Okay. Before we have our session 3, we would like to thank Teacher Ren from PSD and of course, Dr. Maria Jessica S. Magallanes, Ms. Sherry P. Foncion, and Ma'am Christina Amon. Mabilis po yung naging respond natin sa request for interpreter. Maraming salamat po. Teacher J. Maisel Largizabal from PSP. Okay. Moving on with our sessions this afternoon, we shall now have the session on EOP policies and processes for Prime HRM System 3, which is on performance management. Our third speaker is the very dynamic Senior Education Program Specialist of Human Resource Development. Siyempre, pag-usapang RPMS, let's have Mr. RPMS himself, Sir Noel P. Miranda.
I will discuss about the performance management system as one of the systems under the program to institutionalize meritocracy and excellence in human resource management, the Prime HRM. For the topics, I will be discussing about the CSC approved policy on performance management, the process flow, division performance management team, and the result-based performance management system in the Department of Education. To start with, on your screen now is the Division Memorandum number 347, Series 2021, known as the reiteration of the application of the national policies on gender and development and person with disabilities in the implementation of results-based performance management system. Here are the content of the said memorandum. Paragraph number 1 is a reiteration to the adherence of all SDO officials and public school heads to CSC Memorandum Circular number 3, Series 2001, entitled Revised Policy on Merit Promotion Plan and Section 5 of Republic Act number 7277 as amended by Section 1 of RA 10524, entitled An Act Providing the Rehabilitation, Self-Development and Self-Reliance of Disabled Persons and their integration in the mainstream of society, and for other purposes. Paragraph number 2 states that as the Department of Education's commitment to the CSC approved SPMS guidelines, the field is hereby reminded of paragraph 3 of DepEd Order number 2, Series 2015, that is the guidelines on the establishment and implementation of RPMS in the Department of Education dated February 6, 2015. To wit, ito po yung laman nun. These guidelines stipulate the specific mechanisms, criteria, and processes for the performance target setting, monitoring, evaluation, and development planning for schools and offices covering all employees, school-based and non-school-based in the department, holding regular plantilla positions, personnel under contracts of service, job order, and LGU funded employees shall likewise be covered, but for purposes of performance evaluation only. And I would like to invite all your attention to paragraph number 3, that this office, the Division Office of Pasay, adheres to the Equal Opportunity Policy, Equal Employment Opportunity Principle, and does not discriminate employees based on sexual orientation, gender identity, or expression. Now let's proceed to the process flow for non-teaching personnel. For non-teaching personnel, I'm referring to our SDOP personnel. The phase 1 starts by January, wherein the rater meets with the ratee to discuss and agree on the office KRAs, objectives, and performance indicators. Then the rater and ratee commits and reaches an agreement by signing the IPCRF. In phase 2, from February to June, the rater monitors and coaches ratee. Then the rater and ratee agrees to track and record significant incidents using the performance monitoring and coaching form. By July, that's the start of the phase 3 for the non-teaching personnel, wherein the rater and the ratee discuss midterm performance. Then the rater and ratee agree on necessary adjustments to ensure achievement on objectives before the final performance review and evaluation. By August until November, the rater monitors and coaches ratee. And the last phase is phase 4. Normally, this happens by December. The rater and ratee discuss and agree on the actual accomplishments and results based on performance commitments and measures previously made. Then the rater and ratee meet to discuss final performance ratings and sign the OPCRF or the IPCRF. For the process flow for the teaching personnel, phase 1 starts by June. Same thing din po ng procedure ng phase 1 para sa non-teaching personnel ng ating SDO proper. The rater meets with ratee to discuss and agree on the office KRAs, objectives, and performance indicators. Then the rater and ratee commits and reaches an agreement by signing the IPCRF. Then, by July until March, the rater monitors and coaches ratee. The rater and the ratee agrees to track and record significant incidents using the performance monitoring and coaching form. And by November, the rater and the ratee discuss midterm performance. And the rater and ratee agree on necessary adjustments to ensure achievements on objective before the final performance review and evaluation. By December to February, the rater monitors and coaches ratee. Then the last phase 4, is on March, wherein the rater and the ratee discuss and agree on the actual accomplishments and results based on performance commitments and measures previously made. Rater and ratee meet to discuss final performance ratings and sign the OPCRF or the IPCRF, and that's it. Now, because of the pandemic, the RPMS implementation for school year 2020 to 2021, the timetable for school-based teaching and non-teaching personnel has been adjusted as per Memorandum D MPHROD 2020-0223. It is about the adjusted timeline for RPMS implementation in view of the amended school calendar for school year 2020-2021. And another thing, pursuant to Deped Order number 12, series of 2021, amendment to DO number 30, series of 2020, that is the amendment to DO number 7, series 2020, school calendar and activities for school year 2020-2021. The timetable for school-based teaching and non-teaching personnel has been adjusted. Eto po yun. Yung phase 1 po, in-adjust po ng January 2021. The self-assessment with initial development planning. Then phase 2, classroom observation, that will be from February to April 2021. For monitoring and coaching of our teachers, all school year round. For the media review, that is first week of May 2021. For classroom observation 2, it should gonna be from May to June 2021. Then your phase 3, which is the performance review and evaluation, is 1 week after graduation. For phase 4, that is performance rewarding and development planning, it will be on July 2021. And the IPCRF data collection will be 1 month after graduation. Likewise, for the school-based non-teaching personnel, for school year 2020-2021, your phase 1 starts by October 2020. Phase 2, monitoring and coaching, is all school year round. Media review with development planning is on the first week of May 2021. Then for phase 3, your performance review and evaluation is 1 week after graduation. And for phase 4, ways forward development is 1 week after graduation. Planning rate is a week after schedule, is 1 month after graduation. Yan po yung adjustment sa school-based teaching and non-teaching personnel. Okay. On your screen now is the Division Performance Management Team. Division Memorandum number 356, Series 2021, stipulates the reconstitution of the Division Performance Management Team and underlying functions and responsibilities. Yan po ang ating Division Performance Management Team. Hindi ko na po iisa-isahin. Meron tayong chairman, which is our OIC-ASDS. Then the members, including the two chiefs of the two divisions, the CID and SGOD. Then the planning officer 3, accountant 3, budget officer 3, the president of the Pasay Non-Teaching Personnel Association, then the secondary school principal 4, elementary school principal 4, and the president of the PCP-SDA. Then an observer coming from the president of the GPTA, and our administrative aide 6 as the secretariat. One of the functions and responsibilities of the performance management team, wherein the secretariat at each level sets consultation meeting of all heads of offices for the purposes of discussing the target set in the office performance commitment rating form. Another is that the planning office shall ensure that office performance targets and measures as well as the budget are aligned with those of the agency, and that work distribution of offices units is rationalized. PMT recommends approval of the office performance commitment and rating to the head agency. Then the personnel division identifies potential top performers and provide inputs to praise committee for grant and awards and incentives. And lastly, the PMT adopts its own rules, procedures, and strategies in carrying out the above responsibilities, including schedule of meetings and deliberations and delegation of authority to representatives in case of absence of its member. Now let's go to RPMS. Division Memorandum Number 348, Series 2021, reiterated the RPMS guidelines. These serve as an important document for performance management system. Simulan na natin. Phase 1 is about performance, planning, and commitment. On your screen now are the steps in conducting performance planning and commitment. We discuss units objectives, then identify individual KRAs, objectives and performance indicators, discuss competencies required and additional competencies needed, and finally, reaching agreement. Okay, in discussing the unit's objectives, the office head discusses the office KRAs and objectives with direct report. Then, break this down to individual KRAs and objectives. Number 2, in the identification of KRAs, objectives, and performance indicators, you identify your responsibilities by answering the following question. What major results, outputs, am I responsible for delivery? By the way, let's talk about performance indicators. That is an exact quantification of objectives expressed through rubrics, and they are assessment tools which gauge whether performance is positive or negative. Ito po yung ating mga performance measures. Meron tayong effectiveness or quality. We also have efficiency. And lastly, timeliness. Isa-isahin po natin. Effectiveness or quality is the degree to which objectives are achieved and extent to which targeted problems are solved. In other words, this is getting the right things done. Then for efficiency, it measures whether the targets are accomplished with a minimum amount or quantity of waste, expense, or unnecessary effort. This is doing the things right. And timeliness measures whether the deliverable was done on time, on evaluate such things and project completion deadlines, time management skills, and other time sensitive expectations. Okay po. I would like you to note on this that some performances are only rated on quality and efficiency, walang timeliness. Quality and timeliness, walang efficiency. Efficiency only. And take note that you need not use all three categories. Okay? Then, you need to discuss competencies required and additional competencies. Ano yung mga additional competencies natin? Ito po yung mga core behavioral competencies at saka yung mga core skills. Then finally, you need to reach an agreement. Once the form is completed, I'm talking about the KRAs, objectives, performance indicators, competencies. Rater schedules a meeting with ratee, then agree on the listed KRAs, objectives, performance indicators, and assigned rate per KRA, where to focus on the competencies. Note that the rater and ratee agree on the key result areas, objectives, performance indicators, assigned weight per KRA, and sign the performance commitment and review form. Now let's proceed to phase 2, which is the performance, monitoring, and coaching. It involves two main undertakings: monitoring and coaching feedback. This is the heart of the RPMS because this phase is being done throughout the year. And our objective is to make coaching a way of life in the Department of Education. I would like to emphasize this important form. That is most important document to fill up to monitor respective ratees in your offices, units, schools. All raters are encouraged to have an individualized copy of PMCF or the Performance Monitoring and Coaching Form, depending upon the number of your ratees to safeguard its confidentiality. At the end of discussion, signatures of the rater and the ratee shall be affixed in the form. Okay, malinaw yan Kailangan nyo rin po ito, tong action plan for coaching. This is also a very important document to be filled up by the raters in order to assure that coaching happens in the workplace. All raters are encouraged to have an individualized copy of action plan for coaching form depending upon the number of your ratees as reference during performance monitoring and coaching. Napakahalaga po ng dalawang forms na ipinakita ko. Now let's go to phase 3. That is the performance review and evaluation. It involves two processes: review performance and discuss strengths and improvement needs. Ito po yung pagkakasunod-sunod. Fill up the performance evaluation worksheet, then reflect actual results, accomplishment, rate each objective using the rating scale, and compute final rating. May it be noted that in the mid-year review, we do not compute the rating. We are just tracking the performance of the rating, if the targets are being achieved or not. This is an avenue for the ratees to realize how they could reach their targets or surpass it with an outstanding rating in the final performance and review. And lastly, the performance rewarding and development planning. It involves rewards and development plan. I will not talk about rewards anymore because somebody will be talking it later. Yan po ang napakahalagang dokumento, yung development plans. The accomplishment of the development plans is very vital in planning for the performance development of a particular rating for the next RPMS cycle. It will serve as baseline reference of actions for making the action plan for coaching, as well as in doing the OPCR and IPCR for the next calendar year or school year in the case of school-based teaching and non-teaching personnel. So goes my talk about the performance management system. This is Mr. Noel Miranda, Senior Education Program Specialist from the School Governance and Operations Division, HRD Section. Magandang buhay po sa lahat.
Thank you very much, Sir Noel. Okay, so just like with the first two sessions, again, may questions tayo about, this time about performance management. Okay? So according to Sir Noel, in-emphasize niya to kanina, what is considered to be the heart of RPMS? What is considered to be the heart of RPMS? You may type in your answer sa ating pong chat box. So again, paunahan na lang po.
Kumain na lang, kumain.
Sayang tong papremyo ni SDS para po sa inyo.
Wala ba sa ako?
Sir Noel, ayun, meron na pong mga sumagot. Okay. So, sabi ni Sir Noel kanina, yung phase 2 ng RPMS. So, monitoring and coaching. Ma'am Irish Gregorio of Padre Zamora Elementary School. Ma'am Irish, coordinate na lang po kay Ma'am Jessie Reyes of SGOD. Pero dahil 426 na, Sir Noel, pwede na yon. Okay. Now, last question for PM. What are the performance measures of RPMS? Tatlo po yun. Paano ba tayo sinusukat sa RPMS? What are the performance measures? So again, paunahan na lang po para sa papremyo. Starts with letter E, another letter E, at isang letter T. Again, we are looking for the performance measures of RPMS. Pag tinignan natin yung IPCRF natin, andun yan. Ayun. So, nauna po sa seller screen, si Ma'am Katrina Decena. Okay. Quality, efficiency, and timeliness. So, yung quality po or effectiveness. So, pwede yon si Ma'am Katrina Decena. Coordinate ka na lang, Ma'am, kay Ma'am Jessie Reyes o SGOD. Now, to complete our discussion on Prime HRM, we shall now have EOP policies and processes for Prime HRM System 4, which is rewards and recognition. Fellow teachers, let us now listen to Ms. Jessie J. Reyes, our Education Program Specialist 2 for Human Resource Development.
Okay, good day everyone. I am Jessie Reyes, an EPS2 of HRD, of course, under SJOB. So for today, I would like to give you some insights about the fourth system of Prime HRM. So basically, we have already discussed about the other system of HRM, of Prime HRM, which includes, of course, the RSP or the Recruitment Selection Placement. Same as well with the performance management and, of course, the learning and development. And this is now the last system of Prime HRM, focusing on the program on awards and incentives for service excellence or the praise policy. So generally speaking, the Schools Division Office Pasay City adopts the program on awards and incentive for excellence praise in line with the revised policies on employee suggestions and incentive award system as provided under the Civil Service Commission Resolution number 010112 and the CSC Memorandum Circular Order number 01 of Series 2001. So as we have specified under the context of Prime HRM rewards and recognition, it includes 3 pillars, which includes the governance, planning, and execution. So under this context, under these pillars, it pertains to the establishment of rewards and recognition system and budget and overseeing management and effectiveness of rewards and recognition function and its alignment to the agency's vision and strategic direction. So as we have specified, this rewards and recognition, it identifies support mechanism as an information management and system review. We have to develop rewards and recognition plans and programs that promote individual and team motivation and performance to achieve agency's strategic goals. It is also a process for screening nominees and selecting awardees based on extraordinary achievements, contributions, and performance that contribute to the attainment of the agency's strategic goals. So, thus, praise policy at SDO Pasay encourages creativity, innovativeness, efficiency, integrity, and productivity in the public service by recognizing and rewarding officials and employees, individually or in groups for their suggestions, inventions, superior accomplishments, and other personal efforts which contribute to the efficiency, economy, or other improvement in government operations, and for other extraordinary acts or services in the public interest. So, in the alignment of our agency mission, vision, and goals, we are going to identify who are those employees, both teaching and non-teaching employee or personnel, that really exceeds their performances. They have provided creativity, innovations, and even produce integrity and contribute, of course, to the welfare of the department. Okay? SDO Pasay basically adopts the equal opportunity principle, which honors deserving employees regardless of gender, preferences, age, civil status, physical characteristic and attributes, religion, belief, creed, race, family background, political affiliation, socioeconomic standing, as well as those differently abled individuals. So when we basically discuss about equal opportunity principle, it is the right of every teaching and non-teaching personnel and may serve as a protection against discrimination on the basis of their demographic profile, such as their races, religion, their sex, national origin, and among other qualified characteristics. So regardless of those context or those demographic profile, we are adopting or implementing the equal opportunity principle under the Prime HRM rewards and recognition. It also adheres, or the SDO Pasay adheres to equal opportunity principle in providing incentives and awards based on performance, innovative ideas, and exemplary behavior. It covers our teaching and non-teaching personnel against, again, discrimination for promotion, pay, benefits, or any discharges. So we have to imbibe equal opportunity principle for our employee and personnel. Okay? As long as they are deserving, as long as they are qualified for those specified incentive, motivations, and awards or rewards, we are accepting the fact that regardless of their gender preferences, their religion, and other qualified characteristics, they are open, or we are open for this rewards and recognition. SDO Pasay also provide for both monetary and non-monetary awards and to recognize and reward productive, creative, innovative, and ethical behavior of employees through formal and informal mode. So there are different ways or modes in recognizing our employee as based on the context of the provided awards. So under the monetary, for example, in our gawad kagalingan, sa pagtuturo, sa paglilingkod, sa supervision, so there are a specified amount that we are going to provide them, no? However, in the other types of awards or rewards or incentives, we also provided what we call the non-monetary awards. We can provide trophy, plus certification, and other incentives such as yung awards natin basically on we can provide them yung ating for example, yung mga on-the-spot award natin. So there are other non-monetary awards that we could give them. Even also in a form of birthday gifts, okay, during the birthday of our employees, no, we have provided them a non-monetary type of award. Okay, so as specified, that the operational and other miscellaneous expenses for non-monetary awards, monetary awards, and incentives shall be charged against SDO maintenance and other operating expenses, or known for the MOOE, and shall be incorporated in the SDO annual work and financial plan. It only specifies the sources of our monetary and other expenses for the conduct of award, recognition, and incentives in our division. So it should be specified in our annual work and financial plan. Laging kasama po doon ang ating praise implementation or the awards implementation natin, incentive implementations natin. Okay. As presented from this concept, okay, as prescribed and stipulated in Civil Service Commission Memorandum Circular Order Number 1, Series of 2001, the following are the committee for the Prime HRM, or what we call the Praise Committee, which of course headed by our Schools Division Superintendent as the chairperson, followed by the Assistant Schools Division Superintendent as the vice chairperson, and the members includes the chief from CID and SCOD. Okay, we got also the president of PESPA. We also have the president of the NASPIL, or the secondary level. Of course, the budget section or the administrative officer 5 is also included as part of the member of this committee. We also have, of course, the administrative officer 5 for the administrative unit, and of course, the planning officer, planning officer 3. Another members for this committee includes the administrative officer 4 in personnel section, the administrative officer 4, property supply and general services section, and of course, the division faculty federation president. So, as is specified here, the schools division superintendent or his or her authorized representative shall be responsible for overseeing the system's operation. And the administrative officer 5 of the administrative unit shall serve as the secretariat. So all the documentation, report, and coordination shall be made by the AO5, specifically for this rewards and recognition system. So we are going, when there is a preparation of report, submission of any budget for the praise, of course, as headed by our school division superintendent, it should be ano pa rin, strengthened or coordinated, of course, by the administrative officer 5. So we have issued memorandum on March 17, 2021, specifically for the reconstitution of 2021 DepEd Schools Division Office Pasay City Program on Awards and Incentive for Service Excellence, or the PRAISE Committee. Okay? As headed, of course, by our Schools Division Superintendent as a chairperson, with the in person of Dr. Loretta Campo. Of course, we also have here with the Vice Chairperson, Dr. Arturo A. Tolentino. Okay? And the members of this committee, which includes Dr. Mirna Bigasa, Mr. Ligado F. Torres, Ms. Glenda Dita Bakirao, Mr. Agapito Teodoro N. Manao, Ms. Loida C. Dasco, Ms. Cecilia B. Bailon, Mr. Daniel De Ocampo, Mr. Ronelio Arellano, and of course, our faculty president, as a member of this committee, Mr. Jesus Valencia. And to assist, of course, this PRAISE committee in preparation of the Prime HRM rewards and recognition evidence requirements, basically, just to give you some updates, that our division office is currently working for the accreditation on Prime HRM, okay, focusing on L&D and Prime HRM RNR, or the awards and recognition. We have decided to establish another technical working group, okay, of course, to assist and to guide, of course, the PRAISE committee in the completion of the evidence requirements per pillar under its system. So if you could see po in our PowerPoint, we got different personnel po. We have included, of course, Dr. Mirna B. Martino, Dr. Rosalie Arcondes, Dr. Maripas T. Mendoza, Engineer Joanne Rose Esetoya, Mr. John Anthony M. Labay, Ms. Sharon May Q. Abdila, Ms. Flerida S. Pajariliaga, Ms. Maria Jacqueline T. Bernardino, Mr. Noel P. Miranda, Mr. Eric D. Comia, Ms. Fatima P. Pajardo, and yours truly po, to guide them, of course, all throughout in the preparations of the evidence requirements needed by the CSC as our preparation for the accreditation in Prime HRM rewards and recognition. So we conducted an annual rewards and recognition year-end policy review on March 10. Okay, so that was through via Google Meet. And from that discussions, we have identified some of the completions of our implemented R&R in the division. Because part of that year-end review, we have to submit an annual praise report, okay, to the Civil Service Commission Regional Office on or before the 30th day of January. Why? Because it will serve as a basis for the grant of productivity incentive bonus. So we have to update the CSC on the completed and implemented R&R activity in our division. Okay? To enable its employee to qualify, of course, for nomination to the CSC-sponsored national awards. So pag nakita kasi nila na we are consistently providing rewards and recognition, we can able to comply, okay, with the different reports, we can be be nominated eventually to other types of awards or recognition in the different department or the nationwide search for these awards. Just to give you some insights on the general objectives of this system, the SDO Pasay City Praise shall be implemented every year, okay, to motivate, to recognize, and reward officials, employees individually and or groups for their outstanding performance and accomplishments. Even also for the innovative ideas, initiatives, innovations, and interventions exemplary ethical behavior, heroic or extraordinary acts or services in the public interest, and other personal efforts, which contribute to academic and non-academic school division improvements that may lead, of course, to the school division productivity or enhancement of performance. So, SDO Pasay City Place pa rin po will, of course, includes the establishment of mechanism for identifying, selecting, rewarding, and providing incentives. Okay? So let's encourage creativity, efficiency, and integrity in the delivery of educational services among teaching and non-teaching personnel. Okay? Even in the smallest way of expressing their concern to our division, to our school, okay, to our organization, we can motivate them. Even in simple things, we can recognize them. Okay? As long as it can help them, motivate them to enhance their performance to their respective school or to their respective units or sections. So as a whole, as a general, the scope of our PRAISE program shall apply to all teaching and non-teaching school and division employees and officials of the schools division office Pasay City. So R&R is for all. Okay, take note of that. As long as the individual or organization or unit or section deserves and qualify to the provided awards and recognition. The duly constituted SDO Pasay City Praise Committee shall be responsible for the development, administration, monitoring, and evaluation of the awards and incentive system of the division. These are the major role of the Praise Committee. Okay? It is identified that all throughout the cycle, the Praise Program Committee should or shall be consistently implement and monitor, okay, monitor and check, as well as the try to identify how effective or the effectiveness of our established rewards and recognition program. Okay? There are other tasks, of course, that the committee shall perform, which includes, of course, the following: document best practices, innovative ideas, and success stories to serve as promotional material to inform and sustain enthusiasm of employees. So, they can create yung parang tinatawag na advocacy testimonies or advocacy stories, okay, or success stories that can cater or even motivate other employees to follow the steps of those awarded employees. Okay. One of the major, of course, responsibility of the Praise Committee is to submit an annual report on the awards and incentives system to the CSC. Ito nga yung sinabi natin kanina, on or before the 30th of January, as a basis, of course, for the grant of productivity incentive bonus. And of course, the Praise Committee shall address issues relative to awards and incentives within 15 days from the date of submission. So these are one of the major roles that the Praise Committee shall perform pa rin, but there are other things pa rin sila that they should consider. Okay? So SDO Pasay City shall submit its program on awards and incentive for excellence praise and its subsequent amendments to the Civil Service Commission Regional Office. So as we do some modifications to our praise policy, we shall submit these changes to CSC Regional Office, and actually we have already coordinated, or we coordinate already to the field office yung intention natin for the Prime HRM accreditation, and we have already asked them to provide some technical assistance to ensure the proper implementation, as well as the what are the required evidence requirements under this system. Okay, so let's now move on to the types of awards. Ayan. So we got different types of award. It could be in a national level, regional level, and of course in a division level, and even also in your school level. Okay, let's start with the national awards. Okay, basically this is one of the recognized, or the presidential or the Bayan Award. It is a recognition given to an individual or group for exceptional contribution that had nationwide impact. Okay, So it conferred on an individual for consistent, dedicated performance, exemplifying the best in any profession or occupation that may result in the successful implementation of idea or performance. Okay? Hindi lang po siya on the level of the division. Nationwide ang impact po nito. Okay? So technically, it may affect the national interest, security, and even patrimony. One of the best example po that I have researched po under the Presidential or Lingkod Bayan Award po is, that was in 2019, if I'm not mistaken, the University President of Mariano Marcos State University, they have awarded for, she is actually awarded as the Presidential or Lingkod Bayan Award. Okay? They have implemented a system on that university that somehow adopted in our national level. So, good job on their part po, Talagang they were totally screened regionally, and then after that, they were recommended into the national level. Tapos si CS ang nag-i-screen nun, and I believe that during that time, 2019, she is actually awarded on that level. Okay? Another type of awards po that we know, again, this is a national level award, the Outstanding Public Official or Employee or Dangal ng Bayan Award. Okay? This time, it is a recognition given to an individual for exemplary ethical behavior. Okay? Kanina po, nationwide impact on the exceptional contribution. Okay? Over and above po yun. And dito naman po, they focus on the exemplary ethical behavior. So, as granted to any public official or employee in government who has demonstrated exemplary service and conduct on the basis of his or her observance of one or more of the 8 norms of behavior described, of course, under the RA number 6713. Yan. And I also have some research po in 2019. Meron po tayong taga-DepEd po na na-award po as Outstanding Public Official Employee or Dangal ng Bayan Award. But of course, this is coming from province po, He is actually Master Teacher 2, okay, of Fortunato Perez High School. So hopefully you could be motivated from this person po to be awarded, of course, as Employee or Dangal ng Bayan Award. He is actually Mr. Alvin F. Macalintal, okay? So with his ethical behavior, outstanding performance, outstanding behavior, he is awarded as Outstanding Public Official Employee or Dangal ng Bayan Award in 2019. Okay. Another national level award is the Civil Service Commission or the Pag-asa Award. This is actually an outstanding contribution that directly benefit more than one department of the government. So it conferred on a group of individual or team who has demonstrated outstanding teamwork and cooperation, which resulted in the successful achievement of its goal and has exactly or greatly improved public service delivery, economy and operation, improved working condition, or otherwise benefited the government in many other ways. One of the best example that I researched here is the Tagum City Agriculture Office. So they were awarded as CSC or the Pag-asa Award. Okay, they manifested camaraderie, teamwork, and cooperation in the achievement of their organizational goals. Okay, other awards of that level or the national level given by other government agencies, private institution or NGOs to an individual or team for contribution of an idea or performance that directly benefited the school and or the division in particular and the government in general. Meron po tayo dito tinatawag na yung mga Metrobank awardee, diba? May mga private institution po na nag-award din po, nagre-recognize ng performance of our employee, be it teacher, be it non-teaching individual. So those are the examples of private institutions po na nag-award din po, nagbibigay ng recognition. On the regional award naman po, you're very much familiar with this, the DepEd NCR Gawad Primero. It was actually conducted po last year. Nagkaroon po tayo ng Gawad Primero regional level sa ating mga kaguluhan, wherein they were recognized for their consistent and dedicated performance, dedicated effort po, in contribution, of course, despite the pandemic. Okay? Kung nahalala niyo po noon that last year, it was posted po sa through DepEd and CR that a lot of teachers were being awarded basically on the preparation of learning packets, the video teaching, the module writer. Yan po. Although on our counterpart natin sa division, we have also awarded yung mga module writer natin, di ba? But this time, in a level of region-based na tayo. Kaagawad primero. So, this award is actually an annual recognition ceremony for teaching and non-teaching. DepEd and CR Gawad Primero also awarded po, they conducted also Gawad Primero for non-teaching. Kaya lang po, by that time po, in a different sets of criteria naman po yun eh. Kaya, tsaka parang solely for selected individual lang po yan. Tsaka, if I'm not mistaken po, the DepEd and CR Gawad Primero, nag-start po sila definitely sa regional mismo, sa regional office po mismo na employee na non-teaching. Okay, so what is really the intention of this award? To recognize and reward outstanding teachers and non-teaching personnel who exhibited exemplary behavior, innovative ideas, superior accomplishment, heroic deeds, genuine public service, and other personal efforts contributing to quality, efficiency, and timeliness in the improvement of education and government operations. So, hopefully, tuloy-tuloy na pong pagbibigay ng DepEd and CR Gawad Primero sa atin, no? Last year po, they were really generous. So, we recognize those teachers po yung efforts nila, okay? And the contribution that despite the pandemic, they have still extended their time, their effort in the conduct or in the execution of our basic education. Okay, so as per the criteria of DepEd NCR Gawad Primero, maliban po yung nangyari po last year, no, they are going to choose 7 outstanding teachers and 4 outstanding non-teaching personnel. So 2 elementary teacher, 2 secondary teacher, 1 ALS mobile teacher, and 1 special education teacher, 1 allied teacher, and level 1 and level 2 job groups. Okay? So ito po yung mga criteria nila, no? However, last year kasi they were really generous about, kaya kahit na regardless of the number of teachers na sinabit po natin doon, they still recognize it. Okay. Let's move on now with the department division level award. Ayan. So, we got the Best Employee Award, granted to an individual who excelled among peers in a functional group or profession. A cash award of not less than the amount provided under relevant existing laws shall be given to outstanding employees, plus a certificate of recognition and other forms of incentive, such as the committee as the committee may decide. If you would notice po, no, if I'm not mistaken po, when I came in DepEd Pasay po, they have provided this kind of award, Best Employee Award. Parang ang isa sa mga basis po nito, the Best Employee Award po nila is the 2016 ITCRF po nila yon. Kasi naalala po naman I came in Pasay, they awarded po yung mga best performer, mga outstanding employee po doon. So they receive a certificate, they receive a token of yung parang a token na tapos nakalagay doon outstanding employee. Diba? It makes them feel proud, and they were being awarded based on the possession, by level siya. Okay. Hopefully we could have this Best Employee Award po, no? Let's have it again for this year po, no? As of course approved by our STS and as initiated of course by our STS pa rin. Okay, so this time we got another type of awards is the Gantimpala Agad Award or On the Spot Award. We are actually fortunate because last year or since 2019-2020 and even this year, our schools division of superintendents is really generous in giving this award, the On the Spot Award. Okay. This is an given outright to employees commended by clients, unit heads, and the SDS for their courtesy, promptness, efficiency, and dedication to duty. Yesterday po, Monday, so we have awarded po, or our schools division superintendent awarded the On the Spot Award po, no, basically focusing on the efficiency and less error po sa paggawa ng module, even also for initiating projects despite the pandemic. She awarded that. She also awarded yung mga employees, okay, which consistently sustaining or they sustain to consistently maintain po nila yung kanilang cleanliness in their respective tables, cubicles, and also our schools division superintendent po awarded, of course, one of the front runner po natin na talaga consistently performing her duty. Talagang even wala po nakatingin, talaga nagpe-perform po siya, no? So, we are really happy, no, that our schools division superintendent is really implementing this kind of awards. Talagang pag nakita ni ma'am, if you deserve that, she will definitely give that award to you. Okay? And at the same time, on your part, you have to sustain it naman. Okay? Regardless kung may nakatingin o hindi, talagang gawin lang natin yung best natin, trabaho natin, we could hopefully achieve this type of awards. And so, another type of awards that we have is the Exemplary Behavior Award. An award given based on the RA 6713, Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards. So the awardee shall be automatically nominated by the School Division Office. Katulad po ito, kung di po ako nagkakamali, ka-level po siya ng isang award po natin, no? Yung tinatawag natin na Tadangan ng Bayad Award. Kasi ang reference pa rin po nito is the RA 6713 or the Code of Conduct and Ethical Standard for Government Officials and Employees, where kasama po dyan yung fairness, justice, promptness, and ayan po. So talagang focusing po siya on the exemplary behavioral aspect of an individual. Ayan. Okay, let's move on to another type of awards. Ito po yung tinatawag natin the Best Organizational Unit Award, granted to the top organizational unit which may be section, division, or office on the basis of meeting the organizational performance target and other predetermined data. Last December of 2020, we have implemented this award, okay? Gearing towards naman po ito sa ISO implementation po natin last December, no? So, they have fully implemented ISO, okay, in place of their working environment, in place also the proper procedures sa kanilang workplace. So, kung last year po, kung hindi ako nagkakamali, we have identified po 3 unit or section po being awarded by our SDS. The Cost Economy Measures Award, parang dugtong po ito nung una, no? Dugtong po siya ng Best Organizational Unit Award. Why? Because it is also awarded or granted to an employee or team whose contributions such ideas, suggestions, inventions, discoveries, or performance of functions resulted in saving in terms of man-hours and cost or other benefit the division. Okay? Ano po ba yung makakatulong natin to help our department, okay, to minimize wastage ng ating mga resources, and at the same time, saving in terms of man-hours. Maximizing lang po yung 8 hours natin to do our duty. However, you can still produce a quality output. Okay? So, hindi yung magtatrabaho nga po tayo mahaba, pero ang tanong, meron po bang output at the end of the day, di ba? So, ito po yung goal din ng ating this type of award. Yung minimizing error, wastage of resources, and at the same time, maximizing the man-hour. Okay, so another type of award that we have is a service award, conferred on retirees, whether under optional or compulsory retirement schemes held during a fitting ceremony on or before their retirement. We usually do this po, sinasabay po natin siya every October during the time of Teacher's Day. Diba? So last year po, October last year, we have celebrated National Teacher's Day po. So we recognize those retirees natin. So under this type of awards, we have given them plaque of appreciation and also a certificate and other token po just to emphasize their dedication pa rin, yung ma-recognize natin kanilang dedication and service, of course, in DepEd Pasay. Ayan, ito po yung mostly common na division level award po natin. Or other words natin, known for the Gawad Kagalingan. This is adopted from CSE Praise, which generally aims to motivate SDO Pasay, both teaching and non-teaching officials and employees to improve further their work performance and continue their service with deeper sense of dedication and commitment. Under the Kagawad Kagalingan, meron po tayong 4 na category. Meron po tayong Gawad Kagalingan sa pamumuno, basically focusing for school heads in public, elementary, secondary, and special education schools, intended for our school heads or principal. Same also with the Gawad Kagalingan sa supervision. This is now for supervisors, both in EPS and PSDS. Yan. Meron din tayong tinatawag ng Gawad Kagalingan sa pagtuturo. Of course, for our dear teachers in public, elementary, secondary, and special education schools. Yan. At meron din naman po for the non-teaching, basically for first and second level non-teaching personnel, known for the Gawad Kagalingan sa paglilingkod. So, under these awards, or the Gawad Kagalingan, we get different criteria, okay, per category. And then, as we have the TWG as well as the praise committee, they have decided to, of course, do some modifications, adjustment, of course, with the different criteria. So, ongoing po tayo dyan ang process for that. And we are lucky to announce that last year pa rin ng October, we have, of course, the Gawad Kagalingan sa pagtuturo. Yan. Meron po tayong nanalo po nun po, no? In person of Sir Ronald po, if I'm not mistaken po, sa PNSB. Yan, they were being motivated po to be the winner, the awardee for the Gawad Kagalingan sa pagtuturo. And hopefully po for this year, we can now include Gawad Kagalingan sa paglilingkod, eventually for the supervisors and for the school heads. Unti-untiin po natin siya para at least po we completely close the cycle po for the Gawad Kagalingan. And hopefully po, no, we could sustain this awards pa rin po yearly. And the Gawad Kagalingan selection process shall be handled by the Schools Division Office of Pasay, Pasay City Program on Awards and Incentive for Service Excellence or Praise Committee. So the members of the committee shall convene for the purpose of reviewing the portfolios of the candidate, via the standard rubrics, and conducting interviews and on-the-spot assessment of candidates at work. So, syempre, we do some screening process pa rin. Okay? We still meet pa rin the requirements, the criteria for this category, for this award. Okay. Other types of incentives includes the performance incentives. Ayan. It shall be given to an official or employee who has obtain an outstanding or very satisfactory rating in accordance with the performance evaluation system of the Division Results-Based Performance Management System, or known for the RPMS, of the Department of Education for the last 2 succeeding rating periods. Although, meron tayong DepEd Order number 20 of 2015 for this one, but we are still waiting pa rin naman po sa guidelines, of course, from the central office on some of the adjustment. Kapag consistent, nakakakuha ka ng O for 3 consecutive years or 2 consecutive years or even years. So if I'm not mistaken, meron tayong tinatawag na an incentive when it comes to increments, parang ganito. Performance incentive, ayan, ito rin po, dugtong po siya nito, no, ng ating performance incentive. Wherein the incentive shall be in the form of step increments in accordance with the following. Outstanding performance for 2 consecutive rating periods shall be given 2-step increments. Same also with the very satisfactory performance for 2 consecutive rating periods shall be given a 1-step increment. But then again, the step increment shall be based on the existing laws, rules, and regulation and shall be granted. And we are still waiting pa rin po sa guidelines and directives pa rin po ng ating central office on this matter. Okay? Pero kung di po ako nagkakamali, parang nai-implement na rin naman po ito sa ating division. Loyalty incentive. Ito na po yung granted to an employee or official who has served continuously and satisfactorily the agency for at least 10 years. So nagsisimula po tayo sa 10 years. Ayan, every October pa rin po, isinasabay po natin ang award na to sa National Teachers Month celebration. Then the recipient shall be entitled to a cash award under existing policies. Succeeding award shall be given every 5 years thereafter. So we will start on the 10th year, then followed by 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, and so on po. So last year po, if I'm not mistaken, no, meron po tayong marami po tayong mga na-identify na nasa 25 years in service, 30 years in service, and even 40 years in service. We would see how dedicated they are, okay, in performing their duty pa rin in DepEd Pasay. Under still in loyalty incentive, in addition to the cash award, a lapel, emblem, loyalty pin shall be given as follows. So pag nakapag 10 years and 15 years po tayo, you can receive a bronze loyalty pin, or it could be an emblem coming from the division office, or it could be in a form of plaque, okay, or a trophy like that. And then 20 and 25 years in service, a silver. Yan, a silver level naman po. 30, 35, and 40 years, gold. Yan. Other tokens such as wristwatch, ring, and others, may vary pa rin po yan, of course, sa ating division office. Another type of incentives naman po is the length of service incentive. Shall be given to an official or employee who has rendered at least 3 years of continuous satisfactory service in the same position. So parang pag hindi ka po na-promote on that, magkakaroon pa rin po tayo na adjustment po as based on the CSCDPM Circular Number 1 Series of 1990. Ayan. Given, another one po is a productivity incentive given to all employees who have performed at least satisfactorily for the year covered in accordance with the DepEd CSC approved PES. So, this incentive shall follow relevant existing guidelines po. No? If I'm not mistaken po, parang every December po, may mga ganito po tayong nare-receive, no? The productivity incentive. As long as we meet po the criteria. Career and self-development incentive, granted the recognition of an individual who has satisfactorily completed a course or degree within or outside the country at one's own expense. A plaque of recognition may be given to qualified individuals during the DepEd's or division's anniversary celebration. So, I remember po, no, when I was in other agency, then I have completed the master's degree. Yan. So, kasama po kami dun sa anniversary celebration na we are being awarded because we have completed this another level of educational, parang educational step po natin yun. So, pag na-complete ng MA or even doctoral, the organization is being awarded for this under the career and self-development incentive. Other incentive pa rin po natin, may recommend on the basis of special achievements, innovative approaches to assignments, exemplary, service to the public and recognition by an outside group for a particular achievement. Yan. I know po that in our division, okay, so we got different innovations na binigay na rin po, ino-contribute po na ating personnel po, no? Most especially, for example, in the ICT department natin or unit natin, wherein Sir Eric is very consistently providing some innovations, no? When the time mostly nang nagkaroon ng pandemic, ang daming online programs na pwedeng may contribute, no? And we are happy to announce that Sir Eric is really one of the pioneer of some of those innovations. So, of course, hindi lang naman field of IT. Different sections and unit then can be in contribution pa rin po for some innovations. Yan, to make our division more efficient, more effective in the delivery of quality service. Okay, these are now the other forms of awards and incentives. Ito po, CTO shall be granted to an employee who has worked beyond his regular office hours or on a project without overtime pay. So instead of monetary aspect, in a form of CTO ang bibigay. Usually, kami po kapag Saturday or even sa school po, even sa Saturday kung nag-render ka ng service mo, so it can be equivalent to CTO, compensatory time. The flexi place, work arrangement allowed for qualified employees who have demonstrated responsibility, initiative, and capacity to produce output result and accomplishment outside of the workplace, subject to established guidelines. Although in DepEd naman po, no, we are now working in tinatawag nating work arrangement na guidelines due to pandemic. Yan. So, isa pa rin po palang form yun ng ating awards or incentives. So, flexi place. Salo-salo together. Although there are some restrictions po due to pandemic, but one of the form of awards and incentives that we have is the salo-salo together, a meal hosted by the superior or supervisors for employees in the division unit who have made significant contributions. Parang ano to yung tinatawag natin na parang binigyan ka ng celebrations out of your performance. It could be in a group or in a unit, diba? Yeah. Although at this time of pandemic, there are some limitations na po when we had this salo-salo together. Okay? Looking forward po to na maging okay na po ang lahat para we could have this kind of incentives. Another incentives that we have is the personal growth opportunities. Incentives in the form of attendance in conferences, on official business, membership in professional organization, books, journals, tapes, and like, travel packages, and other learning opportunities. And we are really fortunate po in SDO Pasay, no? Kasi po, me po, I personally encounter these personal growth opportunities po. Kasi, if I'm not mistaken po, in 2018, okay, we have granted po to attend our conferences po. Tinulungan po tayo na SDO Pasay for the so they have provided monetary assistance when we attend po the conferences. That is, halimbawa, Psychological Association of Philippines conferences. So, SDO Pasay provided us a monetary assistance. Portion of that, they were given us that amount para maka-attend po kami ng conferences. Ayan. Kasama po din yung parang fee namin. Yan, nasagot po yun ng SDO Pasay. And even also sa mga training, SDO Pasay provided us an opportunity to attend po yung mga trainings po na may specific amount to be paid for. Other forms of awards and incentives includes, of course, yung mabinibigay sa atin na trophies, plaques, and certificates. Okay, as a proof of evidence to support citations for certain recognition. It's an evidence. Ito talaga yun na you were being awarded because you got this means of verification na talagang you were being recognized. Okay, we also have here the monetary award. Yan. An amount of money in Philippine currency as a token of recognition for the most coveted award given to deserving awardees. Okay, so sa gawad kagalingan natin, as based on the guidelines, as based on the policies, meron po doong equivalent amount, okay, na binibigay para po sa ating mga awardees. Other incentives, kasama rin po dyan in a form of merchandise, computers, cellular phones, lalo rin mga communication para mga prepaid natin, mga loads, reserved parking space, recognition posted at the Hall of Fame, feature in DepEd and or division publication, local travel packages, and others. Other non-monetary incentives din po, basically sa ating SDO Pasay, no? Meron din po tayong participation to SDO Pasay Zumba. Dati po, no, bago mag-pandemic, talagang we are really doing this Zumba. We regularly do it Zumba. Minsan sa flag ceremony po, minsan naman po every 4 p.m. in the afternoon. Okay? So hopefully po, we could have naman, kung hindi po posible pa rin ang physical Zumba natin, we could do it pa rin po as proposed po with our SDO officials po, we could have it in a parang online Zumba na. Yan. Other non-monetary incentives, kasama pa rin po yan, sinasabi ko po kanina na every time that there is a birthday celebrants for celebrators po natin every month, so we provided po birthday gifts, cake, or an incentive of that. Ito po, we regularly have it po during after flag raising ceremony po na yung kapihan sa SDO Pasay. So, our SDS, our OIs, ASDS, and chiefs are really generous po, no? Lagi po yung may pa-biscuits and kape or Milo binibigay sa amin po, no? Pang-motivate din po yan every after Monday after flag ceremony, racing ceremony. And of course, our SDS is really generous po to award those who have perfect attendance award. Last 2020 ng January, no, if I'm not mistaken, talagang nag-collate, regularly monitoring na attendance. And on the spot, talagang i-award ka po ng ating SDS on this matter. Okay, just to give you some insights po on the processes of our rewards and recognition. So basically, the praise committee targets the beneficiary awards. Who are those identified individuals that may receive this type of award, and what type of award? So the committee decides an appropriate name of the award. Pwede po yung on-the-spot award, pwede rin po yung exemplary award, organizational award, best organizational award, or the best employee award. So then the committee proposes a budget to the SDS for review and approval. Yan. So i-realign pa rin po natin yan based on the annual and work financial plan po natin. No? Then the subcommittee develops the criteria. Pwede po yung mga TWG naman po. Or from that committee, they can create another subcommittee for closely monitoring or closely implementation ng ating program. Then, the focal person prepares the proposal package for review of the praise committee. Yan. Siyempre, ano-ano yung mga packages na yun? Ano-ano mga token na ibibigay? Does it also meet the guidelines, the policies that we have? And then the committee finalizes the proposal for submission to the SDS office. Eventually, when there is no approval from the SDS, the committee communicates the search to the agency. Announcement na tayo, magkakaroon na ng posting of the memorandum, screening, execution of this program. Then the committee prepares and executes the and presents the awards in a formal ceremony. And so may mga planning meeting pa rin, consultative meeting, of course, with our top management on that. And then, of course, the monitoring and evaluation evaluates the honor award program or the HAP and interprets the result. They would identify if that employee meets the very satisfactory or outstanding performance. Okay, if ever they did not meet, they can do the intervention. Meron bang technical aspect on that, di ba? But if ever they meet this PS or O, the R&R team prepares the report. And the agency now files the documentation process. So na-execute na, na-implement na, nagkaroon na ng intervention. Thus, the praise committee will now prepare an annual report to be submitted to the CSC for validation and approval. Okay, so the operation and other miscellaneous expenses for non-monetary awards, monetary awards, and incentives shall be charged against the SDO maintenance and other operating expenses, MOE, and shall be incorporated in the SDO annual working financial plan. Okay, this is just again the source of funds, fund natin and expenses natin when we do the praise program. And just to make things clear po, the SDO Pasay City Praise shall become effective immediately after final evaluation and approval by the Civil Service Commission Regional Office. Subsequent amendments shall likewise be submitted to the CSC for evaluation and approval and shall take effect immediately. Whatever the ratifications, modifications, and some of the changes that we are going to make po, be it on the criteria for the selection, the processes, it should be again approved by the head of the agency and of course to be submitted to CSC Regional Office for validations and approval. Okay, I hope you could learn more about the Prime HRM rewards and recognition. And hopefully you could know more about this one po kasi it was posted naman din po sa ating website po itong ating mga policies po natin. Okay, that you can hopefully adapt din po sa inyong school level. And with that po, maraming salamat po. If you got any questions on that, we are free to answer those questions. Thank you so much.
Maraming salamat po, Ma'am Jessie J. Reyes, our EPS2 for HRD. Okay? We have here 3 questions from RNR. Okay, so paki-type na lang din po yung inyong sagot. Again, paunahan po, palakasan ng internet connection. But before I throw those 3 questions, I stand corrected lang po kanina, no? Yun, dun po sa tanong natin, dun sa 3 performance measures, meron po palang nauna pang sumagot kay Ma'am Desena. So dun po sa screen, ni-review po namin yung chat box. Nauna po si Sir Julius Cesar de la Cruz. Sorry po, Ma'am Katrina Desena. Again, ang nauna po pala kanina is Sir Julius Cesar de la Cruz. So quality, timeliness, and efficiency. Correct spelling po. So si Sir de la Cruz po. Sir Julius, pa-coordinate na lang po kay Ma'am Jessie Reyes. Okay. So, first question under RNR. Meron pong diniscuss kanina si Ma'am Jessie na award which is given outright to employees commended by clients, unit heads, and SDS for courtesy, promptness, efficiency, and dedication to duty. Ano pong tawag natin doon sa award na yon na binibigay ng SDO Pasay? Again, this is given outright to employees commended by clients, unit heads, and SDS for courtesy, promptness, efficiency, and dedication to duty. Ano pong tawag natin sa ibinibigay na award na iyon? Agad-agad. Okay, agad-agad, ayun. Sir Noel Junio, Gantimpala Agad Award. Okay, that's correct. So, Sir Junio, pa-coordinate na lang po tayo kay Ma'am Jessie Reyes. Thank you. Okay, question number 2 for RNR. Okay. So nabanggit kanina ni Ma'am Jessie na yung SDO Pasay Praise Committee nagsasubmit po ng annual report sa Civil Service Commission. Okay. This is a report on awards and incentive system. Now, every what month and day po natin or ng Praise Committee, sinasubmit ito sa Civil Service. Again, what particular day sa January, ayan, binigay ko na yung month. Isinasubmit ang report na ito sa Civil Service Commission. On what particular day of January? Okay. So, I guess the first correct answer is from Miss Aina May Sebarios. Miss Aina May Sebarios. Okay, ma'am. 30th day of January. Okay, that's correct po. Okay. Wala namang nauna kay ma'am. Okay. Now, last question. Okay. Praise Committee addresses issues relative to awards and incentives within... Okay, but the question is, within how many days from the date of submission? If you have issues and concerns relative to the awards and incentives, how many days? I think this is about the appeal. If you need to appeal sa Praise Committee, how many days po yung binibigay for us kung kailangan natin mag-appeal or if we have issues relative to awards and incentives? Okay, so there you go, Sir Mark Anthony Chico, 15 days, correct. Okay. So thank you so much. We really appreciate those who keep on posting that they are still tuned in. So that's it for the 4 Prime HRM pillars. We hope that we have enlightened our teachers, that we have actually this system. We have Prime HRM, which aims to serve you better and with excellence. Okay, now regarding the other questions, I know we consolidated the questions from the chat box. Now, some of the questions were already addressed by Ma'am Jessie Reyes, especially those questions under R&R. Now, for the other questions that we have there, we will try to have the focal person address your concerns or your questions. Okay? Thank you so much to our 4 speakers this afternoon. Our ASDS, Dr. Arturo A. Tolentino, our CID Chief, Mr. Librado F. Torres, our SEPs for HRD, Mr. Noel P. Miranda, and of course, our EPS2 for HRD, Ma'am Jessie J. Reyes. And of course, our heartfelt appreciation to PSD, especially to our teachers, Miss Karen Doris G. Sampson and Mr. J. Maisel Lardizabal, our interpreters this afternoon. Once again, congratulations. That completes our engagement this afternoon. And on behalf of the Prime HRM team, we would like to thank everybody. And of course, ito pong Prime HRM, di ba, at the end of the day, lahat naman po ng services natin, lahat ng programs, projects, and activities, ang aim natin na we want better services for our teaching and non-teaching personnel. Kasi at the end of the day, ito pa rin po ay para sa bata, hopefully para sa bayan. Good afternoon and let's enjoy the rest of the day.